Are we still muted? Hello, hello? M
Now we are good
mic
to
check.
go. Yeah. All right. Well, welcome everybody. It is Dr. Dabson here and have with me on the other side Crackety as per usual. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Such a perfect introduction, only to be ruined by the hot mic check not working out this time around. But here we are. It's another weekend. EGCTV bringing you Empires at War, and we are in the semifinals. Starting off strong. We're starting off with Lucifron 7 versus 3DB here today.
Yeah, and both of the Spanish bros will be seen, and the next matchup after the one here in store for us is going to be Marine Lord versus Vortex.
Yeah, so very, very exciting matches here today. High-level plays coming at you live here on EGCTV, and we can already see what's going to be the first game here of the set between Lucifron and B. It's going to be a best of 7, so we're done with the best of 5s. From now on, it's going to be a couple longer sets as we're making our way to the finals. And starting off for today, we got Hill and Dale, where Lucifron is going to be playing as the Rus, and 3DB is going to be playing as the Mongols.
Yeah, this is one of those when you get to the best of 7s, your civ choices, your bands, your map choices, and what you're choosing earlier on is so much more important because you have to plan for such a longer draft, such a longer series that it really could bite you later on if you kind of use too strong of civs and then all of a sudden you're missing one of the strengths on certain maps.
Exactly. It's interesting that we're starting off with the Mongols here. I guess Hill and Dale is a pretty good map actually for the Mongols. If we think about it, you get some cool natural walls there on the map since the Mongols don't have their own walls to go for. And we talked about previously how trade so far hasn't really been too much of a factor in Empires at War. But I think on a map like Hill and Dale, it's probably still a very good option if you want to scale your economy here.
Yeah, it's one of those that with trade, like in normal games, you're starting in where you're starting to trade earlier before someone can get a second town center down, and then it kind of is much harder to put pressure on the trade. Whereas in Empire Wars, you're starting to drop military buildings, you're starting to drop economy buildings, you're doing all these different things at the same time. So you're able to kind of do a couple things at the same time, and it's harder for your trade to really pay off.
Exactly. So definitely going to be interesting to see how these two players are going to be playing it out on this specific map. Root, they are typically, or at least recently, known to be a little bit more defensive since they got their Kremlin, stuff like that early on. However, in Empire Wars, so far, we've not seen the Kremlin overly used. It's usually the Golden Gate, since you already do start with a wooden fortress. You already get that 20% bonus wood income there. So we've seen the Golden Gate quite a lot more often here in Empire Wars, and this gives Rus the option to like be very, very flexible with what they're going for. Either it's going to be like a fast castle, second TC, immediate aggression. And in Empire Wars, because you start so much quicker with so many more villagers, you can usually even do two of those things at the same time, like 2 TC fast castle or 2 TC fast aggression.
Yeah, I've really seen. It kind of reminds me of the old Roost days where we saw like the boar get taken, 4 archery ranges, and just all in. It's almost like that with Empire Wars now, where the aggression, that feudal age pressure, has really come back to shine a little bit, and it's been really cool when we've seen it work out and come to play. But on Hill and Dale might be a little bit tougher map to do it, although on the Mongols can't be walling. That being said, we'll be jumping in here in just a little bit, and we'll actually see what these earlier builds have in store for us and what the plans are going to be.
Exactly. So let's get ready. Game number 1, first set of the day. Here we go. And we're jumping immediately into it. In the color blue, playing as the Rus, we got Lucifron 7 here on Hill and Dale. On the opposite side, we got 3DB in the color green, playing as the Mongols. An interesting start here from Lucifron, sending his scouts out, but not just scouts, he's also sending a villager out on the map immediately. Let's check out what that dude is going for, or rather that girl. What's she planning?
Yeah, this is one of those things where you see it and you're like, all right, well, forget all of our early game discussion. There's action already starting, and I feel like that's what happens a lot of times with Empire Wars. You get the intro in, and then it's already military units. You're already seeing some action come into play, and this villager maybe trying to go for a little bit of an early market wall, but doesn't know where the market is.
It looks like it, but it looks like it's not just one villager. I think on the other side, there's another villager as well. There we go. It looks like Lucifron immediately wants to wall 3DB on all sides of the map. Look at that.
Yeah, not the market wall, just walling 3DB inside of his base. And those aren't normal wooden walls. Those are those Rus fortified palisades, and those are very, very tough to break through if those end up going down. As we expected, Golden Gate is the choice, and it's not the Silver Tree. It's going to be the Deer Stones, which really makes sense because of how many villagers you're immediately empowering with your early Deer Stones.
Yeah, now your opponent might think that you want to contest the trade, but if you're not trading at all, then really you're not too bothered by these walls. You already get the sheep in here early. And the Deer Stone, what it allows you to do is it allows you to make military very early on since you're not focusing on trade. And then it's really not a big deal to break through these walls anymore. It looks like 3DB, he's right now massing up a lot of wood. So his scaling is not going to come in through trade, but rather a second TC.
Yeah.
Ooh, and the wall.
Wall gets denied earlier on, and look at B. He was pulling some vills, I think, to help burn down the wall. But now that he has his con, has the scout in play, those walls are going to be fully denied as that villager does not have any support.
Yeah, sheep here look to be remaining there. He's just going to send these back with his remaining scout. Doesn't have to be too worried about the sheep early on. And look at that, Lucifron also going for a fast second TC here.
Yeah, and with, as you mentioned, with that Golden Gate, he can really do a lot of different things after this second TC. He can play it into the Castle Age. He can play it into this more of a Feudal Age play, or he can even go with a third TC if he wants.
Yeah, so scaling definitely on the side there of the Ruse, should they go for a third TC, but it doesn't look like it. Look at that, Lucifron, he's not messing around when it comes to the walls. He's immediately putting up a second layer here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of resources here to the north side of this base from 3DB. Comparative to the south, he only has wood in the south, and all of the primary vital resources are in the are in the north, including the neutral market.
Exactly. B still has a lot of villagers here on wood. Could be looking into production buildings, so potentially third TC. Doesn't look like Lucifron right now is going for a third TC. He's happy with just that second TC. Oh, scout here. Puts down the Falcon, but gets taken down by the expansion TC.
Yep, the first kill of the game coming in at this 3-minute mark, which I will say is later than some of these Empire Wars games than we've been seeing. And from here, you can see the kind of remacroing by B, sending a lot onto the gold. So probably planning on trying to get up to Castle Age himself.
Lucifron, as soon as he killed that scout, he immediately dropped down a stable, 2 stables even, so might be trying to pump out a couple of knights still in the Feudal Age, get some harass going on his opponent's side, now that he kind of got a little bit of vision denied. At the same time, B, also looking to produce some Keshiks here. I'm not sure if that's double produced. It might have been double produced already. It is a double production Lances here, coming out, rather the Keshiks.
Yeah, and this will immediately be able to put a lot of pressure on the other side. Those Keshiks might not be as strong as Knights, but they do have that healing ability. They can kind of regroup, be able to, attack those wooden palisades at home and heal on back up.
Lucifron, he's got a good Knight count in queue as well already. 2 Keshiks out in map, but 3 normal Knights in queue for Lucifron. As you said, these Knights, they do pack a little bit more of a punch, so in a straight-on battle, the Knights from Lucifron will do better. And do we see another scout going down here? Looks like it.
Yep, the scout just barely gets taken out, but still 2 scouts over there for the Roost side. That's that huge benefit of those scouts. Early on, they get the bounty, and then they get that vision throughout the map. Right as the Knights charge on the other side, Keshiks turn around for the charge, getting some decent trades. Here, just focusing in on that single Knight, and as we mentioned, B has that ability to heal up later on.
And let's not forget, Lucifron, he might have potentially done B a favor here. Putting these walls up in his base, that's like prime real estate for your Keshiks to just heal back up if they're weak.
Yeah, it's like a free little monk, but oh my, villagers under those TCs are plentiful. Those Knights taking beneficial trades. Stone Node being a little bit of a body blocker, not in a good way for B, and needs to get back on out of there.
Both players right now just massing up the Knights here. First Knight potentially going down. Lance is not going to connect. Keshik survives.
Oh, as you say that, caster curse, and the Knight finishes it off. B not able to micro, and another Keshik falls. So Lucifron is 2-0 in the trade department there.
Yeah, behind this, we can clearly see that B, he did not want to stick around here in the Feudal Age. Instead, he's macroing straight up to Castle Age. This, however, could open up a timing for Lucifron. Even with the upgrades on the Keshiks, they're only going to be roughly even to the Feudal Age Knights, and this could become a little bit rough here if Lucifer finds a good timing here. Age Up now coming in. Step Redoubt being rushed up with 16 villagers.
Yeah, Lucifron moving out there, has a good amount of wood, might be able to just sell some wood, remacro with the Golden Gate and plan on dropping that, but also might just be going out for a deer expansion. Another couple Keshiks. Uh-oh. Oh, almost able to find a Knight pickup and able to get out without too much damage. And it is a third TC for Lucifron here.
That is very interesting. It is a late third TC. And it's not spotted right now, so this could be a little bit off guard. At the other hand, though, he's got the Step Redoubt, right? So every single villager that he's got on gold right now counts as like 1.5 villagers when it comes to the pure income there on gold. That's a good eco scaling for him. Upgrade isn't in yet. Kashik still taking a fight there. That he definitely don't want to take that fight. Have to retreat under TCs, but these are armored units. They might not be too afraid of actually diving under TCs. A couple more Kashiks coming out. Upgrade about to come in.
I'm still shocked 3DB and pulling a couple of these off, going over to heal, just because those two Keshiks are one charge away from death. Lucifron making the transition to spears as well. Sees how many Keshiks B is investing into, playing that defensive game after he is invested into the third TC.
And this Lucifron, he's not too far off the Castle Age as well. And while he has the Knight advantage, he is also now prepping in the Spearman.
Yep. The question is will B be able to take back this map control? As we say, that charge comes in. Keshiks still do not outnumber the Knights on the other side, taking an even trade 2 for 2.
High Trade House now being rushed up by Lucifron. 13 villagers on there. Does have the Spearman in defense here. Only Feudal Age Spearmen, but they're going to do enough damage against the Keshiks. They do not have quite as much max health as these Knights do right now.
Ooh, high trade house positioning. Not really as prime time as you would like. Behind this, still no relics being picked up as of now. B just having to kind of repressure towards this base and hope to find the high trade house. He spots it out, but can he actually get some damage down on this? Lucifron forced to pull back his Knights, having to defend this up, and B is just going to fall right back.
B now also looking to secure some of the relics. First Monk is in queue. He does have the upper hand now when it comes to the cavalry count, but Lucifron already the spears out. He emulating that, now also trying to get his own spears out.
Yeah, immediately getting veteran upgrades on the spears, on the Knights as well. And Lucifron just going to be able to play that defensive game with knowing that he's ahead, will slowly eke ahead on the eco count if he doesn't take damage.
Yeah, the 30C, slowly but surely, is going to make a difference here in this one. However, it did come in a little bit late, so the scaling isn't going to be too noticeable right off the bat. Only 2 villagers ahead for now. Looks like Lucifron also managed to get an expansion out on the boar on the left side of the map. Probably with a wooden fortress as well. Yeah, does have a wooden fortress there. Nice little hunting cabin as well. Provide some passive income there.
Ooh, this is the real big first worry with the newer Hill and Dale. You only have that first gold on your hill, so that's where we were talking about. You got to retake some map control. Stepped Redoubt having to roll over to that next gold vein in the center, and B will need to invest into some outposts around that to make sure those Knights aren't circling and don't just find gold.
Lucifron now also reinvesting into those Knights. Still has a good amount, and these Knights are stronger than Keshiks in a one-on-one. Spearman count not quite there yet for B, but it's a similar situation right now for Lucifron. He also needs to get a little bit more further out on the map in order to secure gold. Does in theory have access to the gold on the right hand side with that secondary, or rather the third TC.
Yeah, and that's where it's not quite defended by that TC, but it's close enough and far enough away from his main base that B would really have to split off to focus over there. B has made the re-macro over to the gold, and the huge benefit for B is the food department. He's started to invest into a ton of these pastures at home, so he has a ton of sheep that are just constantly flowing in. Won't have to make a farm transition like Lucifron will.
Yeah, the food transition being very, very easy here for the Mongols in comparison to most other civilizations. You pop down a pasture, you immediately get a sheep out, so 8 villagers pretty much can start gathering immediately. Units here, though, from B have to be careful not to be caught off position. Right now, unit advantage. On the side of B, army value looking good as well. However, when it comes to the composition, Lucifron right now, he still has more spearmen. He's getting some warrior monks out as well. That buff could make a difference there.
And this is one of those where that Khan, I think, just gave a little bit of the positioning away, attacked before the knight or before the Keshiks were. Behind this, OB has been able to secure 2 relics. The Vil difference isn't too crazy as well, and it's starting to look like B's kind of taking this control of this map.
Yeah, so the next fight is going to be very, very decisive here. If B finds his knights out of position and loses them, that could be very, very terrible here for him. Has to be careful with them. Every now and then, Lucifron's knight get a couple of charges off here. Single knight, splitting off from the group, idling out the villagers again. Khan very likely to go down here.
Khan will go down. A nice little surround. GG's in the chat, but look at the reinforcements for 3DB. We talked about him having the military number advantage, and this is where the numbers are finally coming in. A couple knights go down for free, and this is where one of those food sources we talked about could be pressured with Lucifron being on those front berries.
Warrior monk able to take down one of the monks here from B, and fight about to happen here in the middle.
And Clash goes down. There's so many spears, and the spears from Lucifron immediately able to engage onto those Keshiks. So many reinforcements from B, though. The circle comes around, and a Wololo from the Warrior Monk.
Ooh, gets taken down, though. Wololo denied. Army count still looking good here for B.
Yeah. More reinforcements will be coming in. This front side, though, it's looking like Lucifron is in a bit of trouble here, having to fall back. Be able to get some reinforcements in, and those villagers that are on the front side, they're not going to be able to gather those berries anymore. And behind this B, he's also raiding the east. He's everywhere right now, not letting Lucifron relax or chill.
Not at all. Look at that. Already villagers have gone down. 5 villagers have been killed. Lucifron still has a slight eco lead, but now he has to transition to range units as well. Get some crossbowmen out, get some archers out. But the production, it's all forward, and that's where B's army is. He can just pick off any units right now.
And how do you get any gold? How do you get any vital units? You can only go Archer Spear right now if you're Lucifron, because you have no gold. And not only that, your food's starting to get pressured too. He hasn't made the farm transition. He's not really going to be able to have this huge food income for long.
Oh, units clashing. Get caught by the brace, loses 2 knights, and there we go, reinforcements. Just as they pop out of the building, get taken down, and Lucifron calls it. First game in our best of 7 here to start the day. Going over to B.
Yeah, and I really feel like Lucifron, he went for that 3rd TC, and we never saw the Vil lead really eclipse for him. It never really had an effect, and I just felt like that 3rd TC was too late at that point. There'd been too many things going on already, and it never had its time to pay off.
Yeah, I feel like Lucifron, if he added like the range units a little bit earlier, we saw that both players had a huge number of melee units out when the clash happened. If one of the sides had range units to like be able to help with the damage output, regardless of pathing, that could have definitely shifted the tide there, but both players just going for the melee clump, and we see that B just having a lot more units there when the fight initially happened means he was able to take down Lucifron's army so much quicker, reduce the amount of damage his units take, and with that just takes a decisive win there in the midfield and just pushes into Lucifron's base.
Yeah, Lucifron was never able to restabilize back up after that, and B just perfect timing strike on the Mongols with the first game playing against the Rus. And this is a best of 7. And so next map in store, it will end up being a mirror matchup. As we can see, it is Chinese versus Chinese on Kawasan.
Kawasan, probably one of the best maps in the pool, in the ranked map pool for the Chinese. They're looking very good there. Very flexible, good water economy as well. Both players going for them here. It's going to be interesting since I'm not sure about you, but Lucifron, when I see him play as the Chinese, usually it's like a little bit unorthodox. It's like it's not one of his more experiences. Meanwhile, on the other hand side, B, he really knows how to play China. He really knows like the ins and outs of the civilization. With Lucifron, it feels like the way he plays China is more like he plays China like you would play HRE somewhat. It's
Yep.
like more of a it's a weird kind of playstyle. It's very hard to describe whenever I see Lucifron play China. But obviously, it's been a little bit since I really analyzed Lucifron's gameplay with the Chinese. Last time I saw it, I think it was on Holy Island.
Holy Island. I was literally gonna say the only time I really see it, it's what you said though. Plays it just like HRE. It's the hybrid map. Hey, my economy is gonna be really strong behind this. I can make it pay off on the water on these certain timings. Kawasan, not quite the Holy Island shared water, but you have those two ponds that you still have this kind of same hybrid map effect.
Yeah. In the end, Kawasan, a lot more pressure, or rather, a lot more attention is going to be paid onto land here on this map if we compare it to Holy Island. So it's going to be interesting to see if Lucifron really knows, or rather, if he knows how to deal with China here on Kawasan. I know that Vortex really does know how to do that, and Vortex is probably Lucifron's like main practice partner. Usually, they do practice a lot together. So if Lucifron learned a lot there from Vortex, I think this one could be really, really even, regardless of like how we previously felt about those players like Civilization Mastery.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with Empire Wars 2, it's Empire Wars is it's obviously solos is still solos, but Empire Wars is such a game mode that if you put in a lot of the practice, you can really tell the players that did work on their builds, their kind of timings, all these different things, because it is such a different start to the game because it's so much quicker. And that's where, yeah, he might not have that Chinese experience in solos, but he might have that Chinese experience in practicing in Empire Wars, though.
Exactly. So Kawasan, that's the home map from 3DB. So it looks like Lucifron actually picked B's home map here for this one, which makes you think that maybe he's got a plan here. Maybe he does have a plan. It's going to stand to figure out if that plan works out in a mirror, though.
Yeah, and in just a second, we will be jumping into this game number 2. Lucifron, he wants to tie up the series, but B, he wants to be able to get off to this good start, and let's see what we have.
And here we go, jumping in to our game number 2 in our first set of the day. It's going to be Lucifron once again playing in the color blue as the Chinese. We're here on Kawasan on the opposite side of the map. We got B playing the Chinese as well in the color green. And look at that, both players immediately sending villagers to each side there, to every single pond. So very, very much mirrored opening here to start the game with.
And I love the positioning by the dock, the first dock that we're able to see from 3DB. It's a little bit further forward. It's not just on his side. It does get some great fishing location as far as how close it is to that. But more importantly, if it gets upgraded with any sort of good old arrow slits, it is that much more effective against his opponent.
Exactly. But unfortunate here for the other position from the dock, though, for B. It's a little bit further away from those fish. But with China, it doesn't take too long to build up another dock on any of these ponds, so could be looking into an additional pond here. So far, it doesn't look like any of the players went over to stone to get like any of these early emplacements going, so will very likely just be a start with military ships here, as both players are aging up now with the Imperial Academy.
Yeah, Lucifron going a little bit quicker once that just barely did quicker timing, and Junk immediately queued on up, whereas on the other side, B already investing into Wheelbarrow. Those 2 extra villagers, a little bit more of an economic focus for B. Thinks he can just defend with this timing, which rock, paper, scissors on land potentially, or on the sea, could potentially make this an easy defense if he just pops out the correct ship.
Well, this becomes difficult, though. He invested into some fishing ships here to start the game off, and I mean, he doesn't really have anything to defend these fishing ships with right now. So these are going to go idle here.
Yep. Absolutely worthless fishing ships for the time being, but War Junk will pop out in a second on one dock, not the other though, as Lucifron. He had galleys pop out on either side, so made sure to deny both of these fishing ships that were produced.
First War Junk, now coming out for B. It's going to be able to push that normal junk back. And very likely going to see a demo ship now in queue. There we go, demo ship right after that War Junk. And a villager also getting pulled in order to repair that ship.
Yeah, it's so huge. The villagers repair their ships so quickly. It looks like the demo coming after the war junk. So Lucifron looks like he has some solid control of this southern pond here, at least for now, having the 111 ship build. And Demo immediately going up. Not only will it get the damage on the Springle chip, it gets the damage on the dock, but is it enough to heal it? It is not. There's a villager behind.
Villager trying to repair the ship there. A lot of micro coming out there at the same time. Looks like a ship is gonna get traded here. Junk getting traded for war junk. That one is likely to go down with the demo ship. Does go down.
Oh, on the other side, a huge demo ship. B loses both his ships.
Gets a demo ship in though.
Oh,
manages to take down the war junk.
Both ponds just have been completely annihilated. No ships on either side, really. There's one galley barely out at half health, and on the other one, there's nothing at all.
There's a lot of micro going on 2 ponds at the same time. Very difficult for either player so far, but it looks like Lucifron, it looks like he's just taking a little bit of a better engagement here so far. When we look at the destruction value, also a lot of idle time caused on these fishing ships that B did invest into. B managing to somewhat equalize the situation here for now. Another demo gets produced by Lucifron. Really has to be careful. There's not a single archer ship right now out for B on any of these ponds, so demolition ships can do a lot of damage here.
And speaking of, the demo ship's gonna step on up. That Springled ship's trying to get healed up by the villager. Great micro, pulling back the villager, splitting it off the demo. One more health on that villager, but still is alive, keeping the Springled ship breathing. And on the other pond, still microing enough to do everything it can. I mean, this is absolutely, it's not a battle on land and sea, it's just a battle on 2 different ponds here. Lucifron, though, another demo ship.
Ooh, loses the demo ship and the war junk. Huge losses there for B, and it stands to reason that I don't think, like, long term, B is going to be able to hold these ponds. Look at how much wood Lucifron has saved up right now. He could produce a ton more ships if he wanted to.
Yeah, it's almost like he's kind of just waiting, seeing what he needs to do. It's one of those, he knows he doesn't need to overproduce, waste resources, and once he secures up these ponds, if he can full deny the dock on the other side from B, then he is free reign to start investing into the fishing ships, into his own eco.
Once again, demo ship coming out there, tries to get the shot in, and once again, takes out the war junk. Look at that, Lucifron leading a lot right now when it comes to the overall military count. Only way for B in here is the eco count, and there's one thing that's good for him right now. He grabbed all the eco upgrades very, very early on here in this game. Oh, archer ship wants to take down the demo ship. Gets taken down first though. Oh!
And another just great trade by Lucifron. Villager is there to try to heal this up again. And B just has to pull that villager out for the time being. Ship pops back out, and he's able to just barely keep ships alive. This is unbelievable micro. If this were any other player, I feel like would have had these ponds full lost at this point.
Once again, demo ship coming out. This time for B, though. There's no archer ship remaining right now for Lucifron with that. B has to be very careful. This is his ship. Lucifron keeps his one alive.
And Lucifron has gone for the second dock here on the bottom side. Or, I mean, on the northern side. B has his own second dock on the other side as well. So, having to start getting these extra resources, getting later in the game, we're going to see even more investments into these ponds. Demo
ship now being produced here by B. There's just been so much action going on here right now in water. And look at that B on the left pond. He's added in another dock there on the top side in order to keep up with Lucifron's second dock. But it's still very difficult. Another demo, and there's only war trunks out right now. This could be terrible. B needs to notice.
Split!
Oh no! 2 ships. Now very low HP.
Not only 2, it's a third too, because the demo popped out, immediately gets killed in insufficient wood. Loses the dock on the northern pond. This is all going downhill so fast.
Oh, behind this, it feels like B. He's almost macroing up to Castle Age right now. He's not too far off of that. Meanwhile, Lucifron, he's invested a lot into these demo ships. Neither player went for a TC expansion on land in the meanwhile. It's all just been about these docks here so far. And feels like B right now, he's just He's going off the paddle right now a little bit when it comes to water here. He's just trying to focus on land from the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say in Empire Wars, it is a little bit different with water. Lucifron doesn't have a ton of fishing boats out. It's not like he is has this extra economic lead. He'd have to start investing into these ships after, and B, he's actually very, very close to Castle while forcing Lucifron to invest more and more into this.
Oh, the War Drunk once again gets taken down by the demo ship. And now, suddenly B, reinvesting a lot into water. 2 War Drunks get killed, but demo ships immediately out there. B not able to catch a break from these demo ship connections here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's at Castle if he wants to, but instead he just keeps queuing up a few more ships, and it's just delay. Lucifron, tight on his macro, was low on a lot of resources, but at this point, can start to chill, can start to try to potentially re-macro to Castle himself if that's what B's plan is.
And we're now also seeing a couple of fishing ships coming out here from Lucifron. Once again, Demo getting these connections. These are so dangerous for Lucifron. Demo ship now coming out for B. Gets some micro out. Wants to dodge the arrow ship. Still gets the connection though. Is able to take down another ship there, but... Oh, demo ship also staying alive.
Oh, and now the dock's gonna get denied. This is the point where Lucifron, he has full control of the eastern pond now. He's about to have full control of the northern pond, and B, he's at the same point he was 2 minutes ago as far as his macro in the bank. He's just been floating 800 food, 500 gold for like a while. He produces a couple ships and then they die. The dock does end up getting built, but losing 2 more villagers for it. Lucifron is now ahead in eco.
This is a very interesting situation right now here on water. And we see the destruction value. Lucifron just taking down so much more value here from B. Demo
and look at how quick eco's starting to get out of hand. Another demo.
Oh, good trade for B, finally. Tries to get the connection in, not successful.
Starting to trade on the other side, but we got triple dock for Lucifron, and on the eastern pond, he has nothing to worry about, so that's all going to be fishing ships. His eco's about to just skyrocket up and just start to gap 3DB over time.
It's just so much micro going on here right now on these ponds. B trying to take down the archer ship here from Lucifron, but every now and then, every time he goes forward with these war junks, the demo ships are just coming out. More and more demo ships from all sides. There's so much investment into these demo ships here on these ponds, but this one looks like a good engagement for B. Finally, able to push out a little bit with his own ships. Just needs to be careful not to lose all of these expensive war junks to the demos. And yeah, he has the food now to go up. Just lacking the gold for now. Oh my god, able to minimize the damage here.
Lucifron, he's starting to invest in the arrow slits on this these docks here in this side, because it looks like he is losing this northern pond with all this investment from 3DB. But 3DB still 1,500 food in the bank for 3DB, doesn't have anything to spend it on, hasn't had any land units out, and still doesn't have anything to show for it as far as the ponds go.
Yeah, he's getting a market out, so could potentially buy his way up now to Castle Age. Could be the plan for him. And once he gets to Castle Age, maybe just some fast knights probably. I don't even think you need to go into Palace Guards. I think just some fast knights would already be able to buy him a lot more value here.
Demo pops out, immediately has a galley on top of it. B's able to deny that up, and again, another demo pops. This one, though, connects onto his sprinkle chips and a couple of the fishing boats as well. Insufficient wood. B, though, about to hit Castle Age. What will this castle timing do for him? Lucifron's not too far away himself.
And it feels like B is sort of like missing his timing. He doesn't have a production building out yet on land, so the Castle Age doesn't immediately provide him with anything. He's still investing into water, gets 2 more demo ships out. He's repairing his ships as well. That's a lot of wood investment. He's just floating so much food right now. Oh, no! Ship 2!
Oh my god! 2 war junks and the fishing boat. Just full security again of that pond, I feel like. B just keeps having to invest into it, where Lucifron has to invest nothing into this other pond that he has.
There's been no investment so far on land here by B. Still not a single production building there. It's a demo ship out. And it looks like he's finally starting to take control of one of the pawns here. But behind that, Lucifron, he's had control for a long time of the other pawn. He's got a lot of fishing ships out right now. Heavy eco lead for him.
Be focusing on trying to get these relics fast. That could be one of the main differences. Water does have this somewhat, fall off, as if they both end up having the control of either pond. Well, as long as he gets a majority of fishing boats out at some point, it'll end up kind of equalizing it out. And another way to do this over time, getting Song Dynasty for yourself, a little bit of a quicker Vil production.
Yeah, Barbican also in the middle, could potentially secure B a couple of resources there. Lucifron right now going into a lot of these palace guards, also queued up a Springle preemptively here. Springle could potentially allow him to get control over one of these pawns again, as the Springle does do a lot of bonus damage to these ships.
Yeah, has a ton of range, can easily just start slow sniping the ships, especially when he has the infantry number, having just a ton of palace guards starting to flow out. B, trying to secure these berries in the center with his Barbican, which I feel like is one of those that, like, it sounds nice, but when you have this many resources to just continually send palace guards under this, there's not really much food you can gather.
Yeah, B is now also making his own knights, so does have a good counter against these palace guards. Question is gonna be, is he gonna have enough? And oh, Wololo gets the knight now, though, immediately. The question is, Lucifron, he already has these barracks out now, so a pivot into Spearman is not gonna be too hard for him.
No, not by any means, and he's got a good solid amount of palace guards to start off. Villagers forced off of the boar. One of the scouts gets taken down. And Lucifron walks over to see that another relic has been taken. B so far, though, secures one relic, has another one being brought back.
And is able to defend his villagers against those couple palace guards there. One villager might go down here. Wheelbarrow is in play. Oh, no, decides to attack the wrong one. Villager survives. But there's still a palace guard there, isn't it? More palace guards on the way.
Yeah, once you find that location, you're just going to continually send units that way. Looks like B was able to go snag another one of those relics. Has the third one being brought back. Walls on the west side not quite being able to be finished yet, but should be soon with the support from the water.
I'm bad. Lucifron. Talked about it, has the barracks, immediately also invests into Spearman, and there is a second TC out right now for Lucifron. Still in Tank Dynasty, but that second TC is going to be better than Song Dynasty.
Yeah, just dropped it over there on the deer, some nice security behind this, and then at any point, Song Dynasty is going to be a really easy choice for him, a really easy, it's not too many resources, 600 total, and drops a Barbican to defend up, and those TCs will immediately both get stronger.
Full Springled now, allowing Lucifron to get back onto that pond, and look at that. Look at the damage from the Springled on the fishing ships now. Ooh, yep. One shots.
And this, every fishing boat that goes down, a lot of investment. That's a villager, essentially, that B wants working for himself.
Yeah, the food economy from B, it's going to be under fire here very soon. He's also going onto stone now, so could be looking for his own secondary TC, which he's definitely going to need. Is
B about to imp?
That would be... I'm not sure about this one. I am not sure about that one. Wants to potentially go for a Sacred Side victory if he gets like a Great Wall Gatehouse out, but
it's a
I feel like if he
away.
does that... Oh, I'm not sure about that one. That feels like his economy is not strong enough for Imperial right now. Not with the amount of army Lucifron has.
I don't know if he knows the amount of army that Lucifron has. Yes, it's 55. Some of that is on the sea, but there is a huge blue blob heading across the mid-map. It's spears, it's palace guards, and B, he's got 10 knights that are roaming the other side. He needs something to defend this up.
Yeah, the knights definitely not going to be the thing here to defend with. Villagers are going to have to seek shelter in the Barbican, but there's not enough room there. All villagers have to evacuate. Barbican is pumping out some damage. A couple of knights here. They seem to be on auto move, though.
Yep, running into spears on the other side. B, he has too many things going on right now. He's needing to micro these villagers. Knights circle back in and run into another spear brace, and just in a blink of an eye, B loses, what was that, 6 to 8 knights, loses his water on the north side, and Lucifron takes over this game with the greedy Imperial Age by 3DB.
B, he's going into Bow Chance right now. He might be winning on water there long term, but long term, that's not where we're gonna be here. Lucifron, he's just trying to finish this game off as soon as possible. More and more units in production right now. He's just trying to flood B.
2 Balchads going to come out on that northern side pond. Immediately should be able to take out something like that nest of bees, and Villager's actually going to be able to burn down that nest of bees, so that will be at least one decent pickup for 3DB, but he is still looking like he is in some trouble.
Definitely is. He does have a good couple of relics there, but his food income, we can see, has plummeted right now. Down to 600 food per minute. That is not enough to field an army.
Yeah, and villagers, it might show 18 idle villagers, but there's also those villagers circling around constantly that aren't showing idled. Balchet's trying to kill some reinforcing units, trying to kill anything that comes out of these docks, but I mean, 1 or 2 already got taken down. Those Springlets can still be micro, can still do a great job, and demo ships.
Oh, demo ships doing a lot of damage to these Bow Chance B. He's gotten a cannon placement on the Barbican, so he's able to get a good amount of damage out there, but the units, there's still too many. They're just able to run past right now. Trying to get a keep up, needs a stone for it.
And Lucifron behind this, he's up to a 25 Vil lead. He's still flooding units. He's up 30 military units. And as we said with that Barbican, it's just a false sense of security. Yeah, it's doing a great amount of damage, but there's so many units coming out for Lucifron. Even with the ones that are getting taken down, there's still plenty that get past and plenty that get damage.
That knight is able to run past, but the entire eco from B is in the backside here. He's gone onto farms, but now these farms are going to get idled out. A lot of units now approaching.
You can see how bad he needs that food. He's still on those berries in the middle, even though units are constantly running past, constantly idling him. Hiding back in that northern corner, more farms being dropped. I mean, he's trying to stabilize the best he can. He's slowly kind of doing it, but at the same time, Lucifron, he's still in a fine situation.
Very much so. B now has the resources for a keep. He wants to drop one. Question is, where is that keep going to go down? Maybe in the middle to stop these reinforcements from just running past the Barbican. Could also help him secure one of the ponds again if he gets a keep up there.
Lucifron just has units everywhere still. And behind this, remember, he's still 2TC. It's not Song Dynasty, but the 2TCs, they're working awfully hard. He's got 106 eco compared to 78 of B.
Look how many demo ships out there right now. And as soon as the Bouchan comes out, it's just immediately going to get taken down by these demo ships if Lucifron ranks here.
Or all the demo ships are immediately going to get taken down by the Balchan.
Oh, no, there it goes.
Oh.
Barbican now also coming up for Lucifron, so it's going to be a late Song Dynasty here for him. He's also ready to his own farm transition, so food income is going to be very nice here for Lucifron.
Yeah, B still hasn't been able to stabilize whatsoever. Look at the military units on land. He has 2 palace guards. That's it. He's got nothing out. Doesn't have upgrades coming into the bank. Doesn't really have any ability to stabilize this. Whereas Lucifron, he's got that double ranged armor. So those units, even though they're getting peppered constantly, not quite taking as much damage as they should be.
Oh, and Lucifron finally finds the back economy here potentially, as the palace guards and spearmen run around there. And he's going to find the farms. If
he finds the farms, that is B's main part. He needs at least a little bit of food. His 600 food per minute all of a sudden going to start disappearing. Honestly, if you're the spearman there, I wouldn't even hate to see them burn down those farms if you know how struggling B is, but maybe Lucifron just doesn't have that huge realization and knowing how bad B's food situation is.
Bouchan just able to survive, can get prepared back up. Ooh, the Imperial officials though, 2 go down. That hurts a lot, losing those Imperial officials, and look how many idle villagers are there.
This is one of those situations that when you find yourself in this situation ever, especially when you're the Chinese, you got 40 villagers that you're running around. Usually you're not going to be lasting in the game too much longer. Palace Guard's still circling, hunting down those villagers, killing a bunch of them. Lucifron's military numbers have just continually been climbing up, even though the onslaught of the Barbican, all these towers, all the TCs, it just doesn't matter because B, he doesn't have military. He doesn't have resources.
Heap now being built by B somewhere. But his economy, it's all over the place. What? Oh, what power? Not a way trebuchet. There it is. That's the keep. It's gonna secure the wood line and the food income here. At least for a while.
But again, still 14 villagers idled under the TC. The next reinforcing units of Palace Guards. I feel like all Lucifron needs is that one trebuchet to start sieging down the Barbican, and then just continue to what he's doing, and then he's just going to be able to slow push this.
Yeah, exactly. Double bombardment placements, doing some damage here to these units. Palace Guards, though, able to just run past for now.
Yeah.
And now we see a second TC for B.
And B is no longer on the water on the north either, so Lucifron, he's the one now who can go up to Imp behind this, about to go up to Imp behind this, can start having that Bao Chad front line on the Kawasan Lakes, and I think when B sees Imperial Age hit, it is going to be when the FF comes out.
And then 5 minutes later, Spirit Wave now coming in. And B once again finds his economy flooded by men-at-arms.
30 villagers on top of that Spirit Way. Spirit Way is going to be coming in quite quickly as it comes in before I can even finish saying that. And B still isn't able to stabilize a long-term food resource. It's, as Vodka's highlighting, 88 total population compared to 177. And that 88 should fall here pretty quickly.
He is able to do a good amount of damage there. It's able to defend B for now. This entire front base, it's going to get taken down here very, very quickly. Loses the relics as well. That could be huge. He managed to get 4 relics somehow. That's his entire gold income.
Yeah, that was his lifeline. That was, I feel like, kind of maybe one of the reasonings of him going up to this quicker Imperial Age. It's like you can rely on the relic gold income a little bit, but not if those monasteries get burnt down. So many villagers focusing on rebuilding those monasteries too. There's the trebuchet starting the siege for Lucifron.
2 trebuchets out right now. Palace Guards just running past, distracting on all sides.
I mean, B has not been able to breathe. B has not been able to stabilize here. But, I mean, at this point, is this one of those where B knows he's lost the game and he's just trying to make Lucifron as frustrated as possible?
I think it also just has to do with, like, the information denial. Like, B potentially might think that he still has a chance in this game. Like, thing is, B never really got any more information about Lucifron's base. I don't think he ever I mean, he did realize when Lucifron did go to Song Dynasty just because the Barbican is in range of his own. But the second TC might be completely unknown for him, that Lucifron has been on 2 TC for like 12 minutes now. I believe
one of the night raids got onto the second TC, but I could be mistaken. I know I saw an attack come on the second TC.
There were like 4 knights that died to Spearmen, but they were on the left side of the base from Lucifron. Not sure if he managed to actually spot that one out.
Even still here, Lucifron getting to the point where he's about to be max population. He's been the one getting all these upgrades, getting a ton of actual land military out. The second trebuchet isn't attacking for him, but that Barbican, it is at its last limb. B's on his last gold vein now that he needs gold so bad, and Lucifron just spots it out with a couple more Palace Guards. It is looking like the end is finally here after we saw the beginning of the end about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, maybe even longer than that, but B has tried to stabilize, tried to hold this, and just hasn't been able to do so.
Yeah, it's a very, very rough position here for him. He's not tapping out yet. There's a couple of Palace Guards in queue, but we see the queue from Lucifron, we see how many he has out, we know that he has got all the major upgrades on them. Elite Palace Guards, has the defensive armor on them as well, is able to dive TCs with that, but yeah, B, he's still in there, he's still struggling, but probably not for much longer.
Oh, he's on to 5 single palace guards left. The other palace guards from Lucifron have split off. They're on top of those gold villagers, and B finally throws in the towel. Lucifron has tied the series after the mirror matchup on Kawasan.
Yeah, B definitely wanted to get that 2-0 in there, but wasn't able to do so. Lucifron able to even out the set so far. 1-1 for both players. Lucifron winning in the Chinese mirror here. Very nice for him. Did manage to just pull ahead with that micro and water.
Yeah, the micro and water, even by both players, there were so many times where B barely kept the villager alive, barely kept a sprinkled ship alive. It just wasn't enough, especially after greeting for the Imperial Age. You can see when the villager graph starts to divide. You can see when the military graph starts to divide very, very heavily, and B never able to get back above, what is that, 12 units essentially throughout the whole entire course of the game.
Yeah, the military count. I mean, it's a miracle that B was able to survive for so long, right? Like with all the flood, and towards the end, he even got his economy back up again, got up to like 1800 food per minute. The main issue there was, as he said, he just wasn't able to get onto gold anymore at all, wasn't able to get resources that he needed to upgrade his units. So his units were always going to be inferior. And even if you get to similar numbers, if your units are just straight up worse, you're never going to win the fights.
Yep, and you can kind of just see that green graph never able to get up to the blue. And Lucifron, very clinical, very clean game with his hybrid maps. I feel like both of the Spanish bros are very, very scary to play against when it comes to those hybrid maps.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna be seeing what match is gonna be in store for us here. The next one's gonna be Dry Arabia. We'll be seeing Mongols from Lucifron against 3DB's French.
Oh, this is a classic matchup. Played out a little differently than starting in early Dark Age with 6 villagers, but still a great one. But as we see the timer, we actually have a little bit of time to talk. And in this meantime, a great thing to do if you are a viewer out there is !Patreon, a new old, I guess, is it new still? It's been a couple weeks old, a month or so old, and it has been the new great way to support the Age of Empires 4 scene, support all of the great work that everyone's been doing, the future tournaments, everything of the sort. So if you want to support, that is a great way to do it. Obviously, we appreciate the views, the subs, everything else, but that is definitely the number one way.
Yeah, helping EGCTV on Patreon, it's probably the most direct way to support them, able to bring us all of these amazing tournaments. And I mean, Pesty talked about that with 50 patrons. I think we already reached that. There's going to be an announcement very, very soon about the upcoming EGCTV tournaments that are going to be happening as soon as the expansion launches. Obviously, we will immediately start the expansion with the EGC finals. So immediately a very, very high-end tournament coming in there. But after that, we got an entirely new season of Age of Empires 4 esports coming for you. And all the donations over there on Patreon are gonna help us just provide you as much content as possible there.
Yeah, the EGC finals is something that I know a lot. I mean, all the viewers are probably hyped for, but it's something that I've been looking forward to. We've already kind of starting to see what names are going to be invited already, the names that are solidified in, and I believe the last qualifier tournament's coming up here at towards the end of November, maybe for the last couple spots.
Yeah, so limited slots available for that one. We know for sure. I think it's only like 2 slots left, 2 or 4 slots that you could get through the qualifiers. All the other slots are already taken up by players from previous tournaments and runner-ups that have managed to qualify themselves so far. So yeah, it's a very, very high level tournament, and every player that's able to already play, like that already qualified, can count themselves lucky for that one.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the seeds for the open qualifiers right now, it's when you have people that haven't qualified yet, like Anatan, Demu, Lenog, Zerton, Magic, Baltoon, Divine, Kiljardi, and Lash are the top 9 seeds currently. I mean, that's crazy to think about that they're having a battle for a spot to even play in the tournament over here. And I mean, that's got a lot of stuff on the line over here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of competition in that one. Very hyped to see that one. And we'll be seeing all the new civilizations in that one. So very, very exciting. Only 10 days remaining. 10 days. And then we getting our sweet new civilization injection there. 6 new civilizations. Lots of balance changes. Very excited for that one. It's so soon, so soon. Very, very excited for it.
It's hard to talk about it because it's you gotta hold it close to the chest over here. But I'm super hyped, super excited to have everyone else see what has in store for what's out there. Really get to see the details, the intricacies, seeing the complexity to it. Because there is definitely some fun civilization choices now. Not that there wasn't before.
Exactly. I mean, just taking 10 civilizations and upping it down to 16, like how many new matchups are we gonna get? It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I know a lot of people were like, okay, these new variant civilizations, they're probably not like completely new civilizations. They are. They totally are. They are. They're their own civilization. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting.
But enough about the new civs. We see the timer getting pretty close here over here for Mongols French. So now we're going to kind of jump on into this third game in just a second. It's Lucifron versus B, and the series is already tied back up. Just in a blink of an eye, shows why both of these players are in the semifinals. It was such a close back and forth, all these tight macro decisions. And there's going to be some, or micro decisions, there's going to be some tight micro here with these two civs as well.
Exactly. And here we go. Game number 3 in our first set of the day. We're seeing Lucifron playing in the color blue once again, playing as the Mongols. We're here on Dry Arabia. On the other side, in the color green, we got 3DB playing as the French. We're playing Empire Wars, and usually this matchup is quite favored for the Mongols. With their early tower rush aggression, they can be very, very annoying for the French, but we're here in Empire Wars. The timings are completely different. There's not going to be that really early timing for the Mongols to deny the gold from the French. That is not going to be happening here. So the matchup might shift in a way that we can't yet foresee exactly what's going to be happening.
Wow, and we're actually seeing the silver tree, and against all civilizations, it's going to be the French that it's chosen against, which is very much one of the civilizations that can take map control. But we see B, he's already going for the stone. This means it's going to be a 2TC opening. It might actually allow Lucifron to get this trade rocking and rolling and really paying off.
Yeah, so trade definitely going to be the way here for Lucifron to scale in this game. B, he's already gathering up stone. So it's going to be a second TC from him. The question is Lucifron also going for a second TC on top of trade like B did earlier? Stable's already coming out for him. B spots that one, though.
Yeah, immediately able to scout out that Keshiks are probably going to be coming out to play, as both of these players, they love their cavalry. They love utilizing their micro to its fullest. I mean, you can see how many different areas on the battlefield that these players can micro at the same time. It's absolutely wild. Silver Tree finishing on up a great market location for him to end up trading to down the long road. It's over there kind of tucked behind his base almost. It's not quite in the corner that would be the number one prime thing, but it's still very, very beneficial for him.
Keshik's not out yet. It's going to be out soon, though, and B has not dropped that TC yet. He already has the resource for it, wants to drop it here on the deer. Can't in the way, though.
Oh, and Lucifron, he's going to push all the deer away now. It's going to be so annoying with how far he can push these out.
And the first Keshik has been produced. It's now going to be on the way. There's a lot of villagers on that TC, so very likely the TC is going to go up. But yeah, we can see Lucifron just trying to take out the deer here now. It's going to make sure they're going to be as far away from the TC as possible.
Yeah, B luckily was able to kill 2 of them next to the TC, so has a little bit of that food that's secured under that TC. But the others, I mean, if you're going out to gather some of the other deer carcasses, you will get slaughtered by any of those roaming Keshiks. B, though, immediately scouts out the market, and just, this is what high-level players do so well. It's obviously, it's all these different small things, but one of the biggest things that's noticeable is the vision, the knowledge, and the scouting.
Yeah, just having that information is so important here in this game. Right now, Lucifron, he's got a good advantage when it comes to the army mass, the Keshiks out there as well. Able to double produce them, means he's able to mass up a lot of them. Also idling of B from gold here, that's going to be critical. Because B wants to mass up his own knights, but not having access to gold, he's going to have to think about probably adding some spearmen here earlier rather than later.
Yeah, a couple villagers for Lucifron sneak on out, get a little cheeky outpost in between in between the wood lines where it will get great vision of on the right side of the wood line, still going to get great vision of the secondary TC that was built. Once upgraded, probably denies those couple carcasses as well.
And also spreading that Yamara network, meaning that Lucifron's Knights in the front line are going to have a lot more movement speed here than B's Knights. Once again, idling out the gold villagers here.
It looked like B was at the point, though, knew his Royal Knights were coming, just said, all right, I'm going to attack with my villagers, try to maybe get us around on the Keshiks, because getting 2 Keshiks picked off early could just give B the opportunity to have that secondary TC payoff, get that Knight number up and equalize.
Go. Royal Knights fighting against the Keshiks. Knights do have the advantage there in a straight-up one-on-one fight. Lucifron's got a good amount of reinforcements now coming in there from the side. 2 additional Keshiks. That's going to shift the tide there. And look at that B. He found the outpost going up and immediately able to burn down with his villagers. He's going to idle a couple of his villagers, but takes down 2 from Lucifron in return.
And even has a horseman pop out, guarantee that horseman just going to utilize its mobility to deny the trade, to just constantly have another attack notification, a constant pain in the side for Lucifron. And that's exactly where a couple of those units are headed that way.
That Lucifron going immediately for the gold again. Wants to idle out B completely on the gold. As long as B has no gold, Lucifron is going to be able to further scale ahead when it comes to Knight count. Loses a Knight there.
And the Keshiks are still very much healthy at this point in time. If he gets full denied off of gold, Lucifron can heal up those Keshiks and at the same time maybe get some bounty bonus by burning down the mining camp.
Trading out a scout there for Keshik.
Reinforcements, though, all of a sudden build up quite quickly for B. He's got 3 more Knights in queue and gets his first trader kill.
Kawasan able to take down some of the traders. Looking good. B almost exhausted the deers on the front side there. Does now have a good amount of Royal Knights, though. With that, should be able to finally get some match control.
Barely able to escape. Another Royal Knight quite low. Scouts trying to get some body blocking, but able to get back to that secondary TC. And slowly building up this eco-villager lead.
Army value, very even right now between these 2 players. Destruction value, though. B managed to take down a lot of Keshiks here so far.
Yeah, and obviously villagers and traders have a fundamental difference here, but B is starting to stack up that Vill lead, and will need to move out to a secondary food resource. A Knight is on the ground there, always a loss that you hate to see if you're a French player.
Oh, able to take down another trader there, able to take down the Keshik, and now running away again. Yeah, being on the retreat is never really too fun. Oh, catching the villagers.
He hasn't quite realized yet, I don't think.
Oh, at the same time, this is on the other side. Both of these players just so active on the map. It's very hard for either of them to fully react to all of those sides. But in the end, I think B here takes a better trade.
Yeah, and another Knight splits off. He's denying every single one of the Vills at the tower. He's also on the gold. Lucifron does react to the gold correctly. Oh, he only pulled off about half of them. Textiles, though, is so fundamental during these fights.
Yeah, Lucifron not losing as many villagers as he probably should have there. Yeah, that's a huge eco difference out right now. Almost 20 economy units.
Yeah, by the end of it, you can see the kill difference, 13-2. Huge pickups for B here. The second TC definitely going to have paid off at this point, and trade is not going to be the easiest now that his Knight number is climbing and climbing fast. 3 Knights, though, thrown down the drain.
Ah, that hurts to see. That definitely hurts to see. But at the same time, like B, he's able to take these inferior trades as he's still taking down eco behind all of it here from Lucifron.
Yeah, this is where being the French, you always want to be fighting on your opponent's side. Lucifron, he's been able to raid early on, but it's not seeming like he's going to be sending those Keshiks across this map for too much longer with this many knights. Another Keshik should go down here. Yep.
Charge coming in. Yep. Goes down. And B, he still has units over here. Lucifron wasn't able to clean them up yet. So many traders have gone down. Look at that. 17 eco units so far killed here by B.
I feel like Lucifron's been at the same eco number for the past 3 minutes or so. Just B constantly killing eco unit after eco unit. Yes, like you said, he's lost some knights along the way, but the trades are still beneficial. He circles back again. There's 5 trade. I mean, this is like what we see killing the villagers, but oh no, on the other side, B's berries are getting slaughtered.
Both players just going for each other's bases right now, taking down the economy here. It is such a hectic game here right now. And it's purely knights from either side.
It feels like a French mirror matchup over here.
Oh no, the food economy from B. There's a lot of villagers there on the top side.
Oh. There's no scouting. B. Oh no! There's so many Keshiks here. This is gonna make this eco lead just absolutely get wiped away and equalize somewhat.
They're still taking down so many units here behind that. B actually able to survive with a lot of villagers. Probably not taking as many losses as he should have there.
Yeah, had a lot of knights, I guess, somewhat close, able to reinforce. The Keshiks have to choose then. Are they going to take the damage from the knights, or are they going to kill the, or are they going to take the trade against the lower health knights? And a lot of villagers do escape, and B is still up about 25 villagers.
Yeah, chat's already mentioning it. Absolute shout out to Vodka being able to actually keep up with this incredible madness going on here right now. So much action going on all of these sides, and more raids happening here. Look at that, B in the wood line now. Lucifron completely off gold. He doesn't have any more gold for Keshiks. Nothing in the bank.
And he's running out of food under his town center. We just saw him starting to run low. He's over on those deer that we saw the outpost get crushed at. But there's like 2 traders left out on the map, and Lucifron, his eco, it's just continually falling over and over and over again. Be investing in the walls as well. He's everywhere.
Food economy again. Oh no. Lucifron's not noticed yet. Now he does. So many villagers already gone down.
And look at B. He can build walls. The vital difference between their civilization. If he can get these walls up and secured, this is so much food, so much gold, and basically so much APM that he saves for himself.
Right now, B doubling, almost doubling the population from Lucifron, doubling the eco pop as well. It feels like there's no way back for Lucifron in this one.
No, at this point, not a chance. B is just going to always be able to outproduce, and they're basically building the same unit, but B's outclasses the other unit.
It is a little bit more expensive. Lucifron has a good ball here, but his economy at home is completely in shambles. B doubling his food income, and more than, like, quadrupling the gold income here.
He's just sitting under the TC. He's idling all of these villagers, taking down more of the villagers. The last couple sheep that are alive under the TC, not going to be able to get gathered from.
Behind that, B also going for farm transition. Once again, knight on the food economy. It's a goal that Lucifron's really struggling on right now.
Keshiks, though, they're going to heal up from burning down those walls. That is one of the nice benefits of seeing your opponents build walls that you can't have, is it gives your unit some extra strength.
Asking why there are no spearmen out right now. Spearmen are just not mobile enough. When there's only knights in play, you cannot really make spearmen, especially for
Does that Keshik
Mongols.
out-heal? No, it doesn't.
Nah, imagine if it did. If it just was able to stay there infinitely. It mentioned a lot of villagers actually went down there.
But finally, B is starting to respect this ball that Lucifron has, sending a big knight mass up to the northern side, taking these trades. And Lucifron still cannot eclipse 50 eco units.
I wanted to get at is, as the Mongols, you want to have like your trade economy, and spearmen just aren't fast enough to protect the entire trade line. That's the main issue for them here. Lucifron, he still has a good lead when it comes to the Keshik numbers here, but it's just every time the army are they're just so split, so far split apart. Like, you never really have these one big engagements here.
And more walls being built. As you mentioned, the farming transition getting somewhat finished up for 3DB. And as French, like, if you are able to get through your farm transition, still continually keep up this pressure, but a fight comes in, Keshik's diving in. The gold mine makes it to where half of B's knights aren't able to trade on in. Lucifron, he definitely planned that. He definitely knew it, but I still don't see too many green knights on the ground.
B, he did get the chivalry upgrade, so if he's able to get out there, these knights can heal up again passively. A couple though are taken down with the charge. He's committing to a fight here, which he definitely shouldn't. He's going back to the TC. Support fire from the TC, then he can potentially take this fight. Behind that though, Lucifron actually aging up with the Kurultai. Probably doesn't want to take this fight now.
Yeah, I mean, going up throughout all of this pressure, throughout all of this craziness, he's behind an eco, but he doesn't care.
He's completely sacrificed his wood income behind this.
Yeah, wood income at 0. Trade is going to get demolished again. B taking some trades, falling back. It basically was one knight for 2 Keshiks. Always going to take that benefit.
There's more knights and Keshiks out now.
And B has walls fully secured, so even if Castle Age comes out, Lucifron can get upgrades, but B has a lot of times to counter this out. He sees it, splits off another group of knights like he has been doing this whole game, idling out more eco, and then pulling back to regroup.
Veterancy on the Keshiks coming in. It's going to take a little bit until that finishes up. And behind that, look at that B splitting up his army again. He's going to be able to completely idle out all the villagers under TC and potentially kill a lot of them. He's got 30 knights to 20 Keshiks.
And as you said, he's right on top of those villagers. They're circling around the TC, just trying to run. A couple of reinforcing Keshiks are getting killed out too while their numbers are thin. And then right when the mass comes back in, B just runs back away with that split off group.
So tough to really nail down any of these units here from B. And now behind that, he's going up with the Royal Institute. He's up to 2k food per minute.
Yeah, just in a blink of an eye. Still hasn't taken any too detrimental trades on his side. Actually taken some great trades against Keshiks. Got about 10 Royal Knights against 4 Keshiks. Should be able to clean those up. And clean those up he does. And Lucifron is getting cleaned up too. Game number 3 goes over to 3DB.
And with that, the French win against the Mongols here. Not the scenario that we usually see in this matchup, but that's Empire Wars for you. Let's take the normal timings and throws it all out the windows. With that, B is going to be leading 2-1 here against Lucifron.
Yeah, it never feels good fighting French in a cavalry versus cavalry matchup, as they just have so many extra bonuses on theirs compared to yours. And that's where B was able to take those trades, able to allow that secondary TC to just slowly pay off over time as he retook the map control.
Exactly. This is a best of 7, so it's not yet match point for B. He'll have to win another one in order to get to that point in time. See the military count just further escalating for B. Able to win it in the long run there throughout Feudal Age and then into early Castle Age. And look at that. Next map, it's going to be Canal. And we see another mirror here so far on these hybrid maps. It's been a lot of mirrors, and it's going to be a Delhi mirror between these two. That's going to be an interesting one. Like, both these players are really good with Delhi.
This is one that you immediately think like, all right, Canal, Delhi can have that like extra benefit with their fishing boats that are able to fire, but they're just like galleys in the sense that you can kind of micro dodge everything on out. And it's going to be, the biggest effect is going to be the 4 sacred sites that happen on Canal. That is really going to be where, if you can long-term secure, I would say 2 of those that isn't going to be contested, that gives you a huge leg up.
Yeah, for Delhi here, there are 2 major ways of scaling. One, as you mentioned, it's going to be those 4 sacred sites. The other is going to be that shoreline fishing in the middle of the map. If one of the players is able to secure both, that feels like a surefire way to win the game.
Yeah, that is for sure. I could definitely see a lot of that micro on the river happen nonstop between some military ships, between sending them back and forth, between the fishing ships as well. And really that's where I feel like the two corner sacred sites, you could see one of these players just sending like one or two spears or archers out and trying to like maybe get some walls out. That way they have one secured. It's never going to get touched. It's never going to get worried about it without a good amount of investment, because it takes time to burn down those walls.
Yeah, exactly. Like these corner walls are really, really easy to set up. You save a lot of wood on them with these cliffs. So able to secure the sacred site there. Definitely gonna pay off quickly. Yeah, only a couple of seconds, and then we're immediately jumping into our game number 4 here of the first set.
Yeah, games have been going. We haven't seen one of these two extended games on out, and that's one of the things about Empire Wars. And this is where on Canal, we're going to see a little bit of a difference from beginning, but we're jumping right on into this mirror matchup here now.
Exactly, and here we go into our game number 4. Starting off with Lucifron in the color blue here. Immediately walking forward with a couple of villagers. We're in a Delhi mirror here on Canal. On the opposite side, we got 3DB with the color green. And look at that, also pulling a couple of villagers here. Just Amiga 5 from both sides here. We're playing Empire Wars. It's all relative, right? And it's a lot. We're actually Lucifron also pulling the scholars out. That is all right. Okay, that's interesting.
So the scouts are about to see what the other side has in store. They're going to see, all right. At first, B's like, oh, good, I have a villager lead. Oh, wait, nope, there's a 5th one. Oh, and there's 3 scholars. Uh-oh. I did not bring my scholars. You can see he's building.
Interesting technology. There's an interesting technology in the dock where you're actually able to put your scholars inside the dock and get the bonus research time. So this might potentially be a play here from either of these players. And look at that, Lucifron pulling a villager. He wants to get a wall up there. If he gets that wall up, he could deny the fishing from B completely. B putting down wanted to put down a second dock. Ah, that hurts. He actually had to delete two of his shoreline fish there to get that up. And now an outpost coming up as well.
He pulls the villagers. We are going to see this micro war, but it's 2 scholars versus 3. And B, he's going to be outnumbered here. He can't take this fight. Scholars are going to be microed back, healing up the villagers.
Ship, though. The first ship is going to be coming out here soon. That could make a difference.
Just trying to focus in, make sure the outpost doesn't come up too healthy. The first ship's out. Starts attacking a villager. But look at the healing. It heals just so much. The 5th villager coming to try to help burn down the outpost, but the outpost is going to go up. It's going to be able to get healed up, and the scholars, they're still there. They're going to jump inside.
But the scholars from B able to heal as well.
It's getting out healed. The villagers are on Lucifron's side doesn't get healed anymore. He jumps inside the outpost. Demo!
Oh, huge!
Holy! All right. Well, this game might be over before it even begins.
Oh my god, you think you're safe? Well, you're not. And with that, the outpost gets taken down.
You look away for a split second, and that is just where a game can flip upside down so quickly. It's not quite over, but that big of a deficit this early hurts.
What a demo connection there. 4B able to take down so many villagers, and that was just so much damage coming out there. Lucifron, though, he's the first one out there with a military ship. No demo ship again from B in the queue here. Gonna have to wait and see with what B is gonna be pulling out here on water if he wants to get back on it.
Now the thing about B though, he does have a fishing boat out for support. Those can help out quite a bit with healing them up, healing up their adversaries or hitting their opponent. And so this is really where B, we saw in the other hybrid map, not really respect the land military at all, but on this one he's not making that mistake. He's already getting spears out, and he's going to send those out on the map, and I'm going to guess that some walls are going to be coming down as well.
This is a dangerous position for Lucifron, right? Like, he's in between 2 docks. Demo ships, it's gonna only give him a little bit of reaction time to react to them, and look at that. B got the devil, and
you just knew exactly what was gonna come. And as you say that, B pushes up with his next fishing ship. A demo pops out. The Springles are just going to be trading the fishing chip, though. It's barely healing up the Springle chip, and it's not healing it enough. And B loses not only the Springle chip, but also
the dock.
Well, he's going to lose his dock now, too. Demo's ships trades out. Lucifron has 2 demos just ready and waiting. He might... Oh, villagers! Oh, no. Oh, don't do it to us. Don't do it to us. Okay.
Oh, somehow the archer ship went down, and B's just gonna immediately replace that dock.
I think the scouts burnt down the archer ship.
Yeah, must have been. Amazing. And now Gazi Raid is coming out, but B already has some spearmen out. Another Bagler coming out. Not going to be able to kill a villager, and looks like B actually got the emplacement on his docks.
Yeah, and not only is he going to have that one emplacement, you can see how much stone he has in the bank. I wouldn't even be surprised to see him drop a secondary TC at some point with how much stone he has.
Could be. I mean, that is a lot of stone. What's he going to use it for? Next thing that he could use it for would be in Castle Age for keeps. It's going to be a while until that, and now second emplacement is going to be coming out. Bunch of demos, though, once again being in queue here for Lucifron. Has to be careful. If he loses that Bagler there, he's just going to be able to repair the dock.
Yeah, exactly. And his villagers, they're not too far away. They're actually on that wood line directly to the south, so they're able to kind of regroup. And there's spears there protecting the villagers, so if the Gazi Raiders come, he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Emplacements out there.
The emplacements with double emplacements on that, as far as defense goes, it's just so much damage. And oh no, I saw the villagers coming. I just immediately had some deja vu, but just blows up the demo to kill down the Springle chip.
Yeah, and both players repairing the docks, and right now B.
Again! Oh god!
Oh no, that is absolutely terrible right now for Lucifron.
Caster curse.
Oh my lord.
You can see the movement for the sacred sites is already starting. Lucifron, first one to secure up a sacred site for himself. He has a demo pop out, hasn't done anything with the demo, and is able to at least barely get into range of that Springle chip before going down.
He's got 3 more demos in queue. Oh, that poor Bagler. Oh, maybe not so poor. Able to make its way out.
Yeah, he's fine. He's like, all right, I'm out. The Springle
demo ships aren't paying off at all. Like, it's just gonna be repaired, right? Like, right now, these demos don't really do anything.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a good amount of damage that he's or a good amount of resources that he's investing into it that just hasn't gotten a ton of return. He finally is able to put the dock on fire, but he still doesn't even have the Springle ship killed yet.
Oh, actually, the Bagler there, kind of huge, being able to pull it in the front there. He takes damage on the Bagler, but he's able to defend the dock. Okay, now both are going on. Oh, no.
And this dock, it's somehow still alive, but the dock on the other side for Lucifron, it's finally on fire. Villagers pulled back from B. He's going to just build another dock, and Lucifron's dock, though, it will get denied. That's all the fishing that he invested into. That's all the water now that B should be able to no longer make these Springle chips, but instead, he can start making fishing ships.
That has been an absolutely wild ride here.
Two scholars! Oh, we didn't even think about the scholars. That's even bigger pickup than the dock.
Yeah, look at that. B, he's up on almost 10 scholars, and Lucifron's on 2. Yeah, that's GG. Very, very deserved GG. Wow, what a game that we have here. And now B is going to be on match point here. It's going to be 3-1 here in the set, very early on, and this one has been absolutely chaotic game. Look at that villager count there. We just see those demos getting so much value. Wow.
That was, unbelievable. From the 2-minute mark, you're down 5-6 vills or so, and it's just hard to come back, even with fishing boats, even though Lucifron was able to secure the first sacred site. You mentioned it at the end. All of a sudden, you looked, and we weren't paying attention because you don't see the scholar production a lot at home. He's putting them into Dome of the Faith, or he's putting them into mosques or whatever, and then all of a sudden, we look, and B had 10 scholars. his techs, if they decided to go castle or whatever it may have been, they would have been coming through so fast. And not only that, if any all-in happens, he's pulling those scholars, he's pulling the boys, and that's a lot.
Yeah, we also didn't talk about it earlier, but I mean, Lucifron, he went for Tower Victory, and B, he went for Dome of Faith. So Lucifron, he never really had the option to like make cheap scholars. B had that all the time, and which then makes it even weirder. With Tower of Victory, Lucifron went for Ghazi Raider, so the Tower of Victory never really did anything for him there.
Yeah, just kind of a worthless landmark other than getting him up to the age that he needed to get to. And we were about to see our third mirror matchup. The other couple mirror matchups I was kind of excited to see. This one, I mean, maybe Mongolian Heights has some changes of paces here. Maybe we'll see some excitement, some different things than expected. But English Mirrors never is one that makes me too excited here.
Yeah, it's a mirror. It's a mirror. We get those, but it's gonna be on Mongolian Heights, and Mongolian Heights is one of my favorite maps in the game. I'm very excited to see that one again. Like just having in the map pool. Very excited every time I see it, and it's an English mirror on Mongolian Heights. It's still a water map. There's still water to be thought about, so could be that we see a little bit more of action here in this one.
Yeah, the thing about English with the hybrid water maps is you get 10 longbows out and all of a sudden you're able to secure the water for yourself or deny any of your opponent's water. So it feels bad investing into it. That being said, there's shoreline fish that can be gathered and everything there. But we are getting into game number 5.
All right. Any second.
Any second now. It's going to be the English mirror that we've been waiting for on Mongolian Heights.
Not the English mirror we needed, not the English mirror we deserved, but the English mirror that we got. Here we go, Mongolian Heights. We got Lucifron, once again the color blue, playing as, you guessed it, the English. And then on the other side, B in the green, also playing as the English. And start off with the dock here from two sides.
This was actually pretty close for Lucifron to be able to scout out the dock. Those are English villagers, and you can start shooting. And he honestly would have been pretty close to being able to deny the dock for B if he had seen it immediately, but instead just able to secure the dock. Bringing 2 villagers doesn't feel too bad either because you're able to just gather that shoreline fish. It's some great economic resources for you.
Yeah, B, the first one to click up here somehow, and Lucifron's still quite a bit ahead. What's in the... Oh, another dock. From B there.
Yeah, very, very far out, very far away from Lucifron's base as well. So just kind of one of these that you're like, hey, hopefully you don't scout it. And if you do scout it, it takes a while to get over there. But
okay, that's going to be a different one. Yeah, it's going to be a very different one. Not just that, but Lucifron, he also went for the very early wheelbarrow. That's why he's so much later up till next age. But he's going to be aging up with 5 villagers here. So it's not going to be too far behind. Roughly like 20-30 seconds maybe behind an age up. But yeah, we see an Abbey of Kings here coming out, and that means we're going to be seeing some cavalry units out on the field. At the same time, though, that means that Lucifron, he's not going to be instantly having access to archers, to longbows, and longbows, we talked about it earlier during the loading screen, longbows can make a big difference when it comes to being able to take control over water, because the longbows, they have 7 tiles of range. Normal archers only have 5 tiles of range, right? So longbows able to take down water in these like very slim canals where the attack ships don't really have an option to like fall back too far.
Yeah, and you can see Lucifron's scouts doing a good job of getting over to B's side. Wants to see what B has in store. Obviously, should expect the Council Hall, and that is what B decided to do. And a little bit later on the wheelbarrow coming in for B. Most important economic upgrade for the English civilization for sure.
B and Lucifron both immediately got a Hulk in their queue. Lucifron also with that knight, or with the king in the queue from the Abbey of Kings. Immediately seeing 2 longbows in the queue as well. So it's going to be action here very soon as the first Hulk is just now getting out. There we go. Immediately going on the villager here.
Oh, great idea. Just making sure you can have that fully secured. You might even be able to get some damage on the second one, not kill it. But if you go in the fishing boats, they're just going to jump inside the dock. So it was a great focus by B. Gives himself that first little bit of a leg up on that trade. Oh, but doesn't react with his own villager.
Almost loses it. And there we go. Demo ship Lucifron, he's been so on top of the game here so far when it comes to all of these demo ships, and once again, able to get a good connection here, very likely. He's body blocking the fishing ship, actually, from repairing. There we go.
Oh, and there's the galley that came out, able to get on top of the Springle ship, and it doesn't get killed. 3DB with the micro.
There's also some longbows just dishing out a little bit of damage here and there, and now the push up from B. Huge value been found there. Wow.
Where's the king? The king, though, on the back line.
The gold. All right. With that gold, it's going to be completely denied for now.
No villager kills, though, yet by Lucifron. B was able to pick up, I think, 2 throughout all that.
Yeah, he killed one of the fishing ships. He killed one of the villagers there immediately on the dock. Now another Hulk has come out. Has to be careful about his galley, though. Galley gets taken down here. And with that, once again, demo ships can come in.
Villager on the backside getting focused down by some scouts. The demo pops in and B reacts a little late. The Springle barely gets out of the range and he's able to pick up the one on the other side. Huge trades by 3DB.
And behind all of that, he's got another dock in the top side there. He could go on fishing ships there. He has one fishing ship there. Doesn't invest too much in there right now. He really wants to secure the water here. Lucifron, he's got that king out. He's getting some damage in there, but I feel like he needs to think of something else if he wants to take back water.
His scout even was able to pick up an additional villager behind it. The longbow number, it's not quite to the scary point we're at, but it's not like it's been thinned out to where it's at 2 or 3 as Lucifron. He still only has the king out on his side, getting some economic upgrades behind this and heading in towards the wood line.
Lucifron, now on the wood lines, able to deny some of the wood.
But B's doing the same, and he's actually going to be able to kill some vills here because he's got those 6 longbows, 2-shot villagers over. And there's the double stables, though.
B already having some spearmen out. They're still on the way on the side from him, though. They're trying to defend the wood line, so these longbows could be in danger here if Lucifron gets some of these horsemen out.
I mean, maybe these are at the point where he's just kind of thinking of these as some throwaway longbows, where, you know, get another couple villager kill or 2, get some more idle time, and behind this, he's going to have the water. He just denied the dock fully on the other side. Start investing into some fishing. Horsemen kiting back, and this is where the Abbey, you feel good about getting those trades with the horsemen, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's going to be 2 low health horsemen. No, it's not. That's going to be 2 full health horsemen.
Loses one, though.
It's going to be 1 full health horseman.
Yeah, the other one, though, he's going to get full use out of that one. Spearmen now making their way across, though. Lucifron, once again, with that great micro, could be able to deny the gold again. The king always being able to heal himself up there. He's been on that side from B the entire time. Just causing havoc there in the economy.
Finally, we see the horseman number be enough to go in on the longbows. Spearman comes in reinforcements. Lucifron pushes back by. This is the point, though, that if the second spearman arrives, Lucifron cannot take this fight any longer.
Oh, there are more horsemen, though. And once again, able to keep that one with very low HP alive and going to heal that one up. That was a great fight here for Lucifron. Look at him microing, not fighting against the spearman. Some players might want to, like, overpower the spearman with the horseman count, not Lucifron. Managing to micro it down, get all of the longbowmen out there, and now healing 3 of them up again. And behind that, he's going up to the next stage.
He's going up to the next stage. 3DB, though, doesn't look like he's too far behind. He's about halfway when it comes to resources, but what he has in his advantage is the extra eco. He's got 10 extra economy already. Actually decides to spend some gold, so isn't quite saving up for castle, just has a ton of food income coming in the bank with the fishing ships he has and the farms.
I mean, you don't really rush villagers with spearmen from the English, so being Lucifer in theory able to pull the short bows there. And now we see some raids going over the other side there.
Oh,
longbows.
Longbows across the scout. Lucifer hasn't reacted yet. Invisible longbows. Oh no. He finally sees it, and what is that, 4 or 5 villagers on the ground after already taking a good amount of damage?
Ooh, I mean, behind that B, he's got a 17 eco units lead there right now. with the fishing. This army consistent of infantry. Does have enough spearmen, and Lucifron going into cavalry here. Oh, he's gonna be completely... Never mind, he does have gold. He does have gold with the landmark, so he's gonna have gold access still.
Still, this feels so bad. You're going into more cavalry, and B, he can just keep making spears, play this defensive English game, I feel like, and give yourself a couple seconds, and B's going to be Castle Age, equalizing the techs, and Lucifron not even able to take some good trades with the cavalry he does have.
Yeah, this is a very rough matchup for Lucifron here right now. Still, he is in Castle Age. He does have that second TC going for him. But he's also very far behind an army. It's going to be very tough for him to come back in this one. Does have some knights here in the back, though. 2 spearmen are not going to be enough. He even gets a charge out. Brace not happening in time, and with that, going to be able to clear out once again a couple of the units here.
B, though, has been able to idle out a significant amount of these farms, which might not mean much if Lucifron had control of water, but he doesn't, so he's had to build a whole new set of farms behind this. He's having to go on to other sorts of food resources, and I mean, this is a lot of denial, a lot of idle time, and B still behind this. Tons of resources in the bank. He should be able to get up to castle in the next couple seconds.
All knights still in production, but yeah, 20 spearmen out. That is a lot. That is a lot of spearmen, a lot of infantry out right now. He only needs a little bit more gold to be able to click up himself, and he has units on either side from Lucifron's base here. It is very tough for Lucifron to really get onto resources here behind this.
Oh, he's on top of the wood line. He spots where one of the wood lines that Lucifron remacroed over to, and immediately you can see where the other little green blob is coming towards. It's going to be right towards those knights, right towards those reinforcing units. I think, yep, there it is. The King's Palace, 18 villagers. B just needs to age up, get veterancy on his longbows, veterancy on his spears, and it's over.
Usually in English mirrors, whoever is able to like get out a lot of men-at-arms tends to win the set here, or rather tends to win the series. Not the series, the game. Lots of men-at-arms win you the game in an English mirror. Neither player, though, so far have gone into men-at-arms, and now, actually, this could probably be the best time for Lucifron to fight just as the age-up comes in before the upgrades come in.
He was trying to micro back the low health knights as they took damage to heal under the Abbey, and I mean the knight trades, they're going pretty well for him considering how much he's outnumbered. But this is where the spears, they're able to close distance. He takes the fight before the upgrades come through, and even still Lucifron losing the fight. But this is the best fight he could take, and this might just be the series.
Yeah, he has no more military left, and now, yeah, that. Man, what a clean game here so far from B. Like, these last couple of games, they've been so chaotic, so absolutely messy. And B, he just takes it so convincingly in like the last 2 games here. In the Delhi mirror, in the English mirror. That was a really, really clean set here so far from B. And that against a player like Lucifron, that is just insane.
Yeah, we saw the wild micro on Kawasan when it came to the water, when it came to the hybrid, and B did end up getting outclassed, but it took a while on that one. Well, all of a sudden, Lucifron looks away for just a split second on 2 different maps and ends up losing water, and we know kind of how that goes. It just tilted towards B's favor. He did the right moves one step at a time. Very, very clean series by him, taking it 4-1. And next in store, we're going to have Vortex versus Marine Lord. But first, I know all y'all been enjoying the stream, at least I have been. And so if you want to support the stream in any way, then Patreon is the best way to do it. And so we're going to end up taking a little break here in a second to prep the next series to get everything ready for y'all. So now's no better time than now to look into the Patreon, check and see what benefits you get and whatnot, and support what we have going with the AoE4 community.
Exactly. We're just going to take a little break here. We'll be back very soon for you, and we'll be bringing you Marine Lord versus Vortex, so stay tuned for that one.
The arbalètre. The arbalètre, or crossbow, was widely used by the French, especially during the 100 Years' War and the Crusades. It was a mediocre weapon when used in open battlefield warfare due to its slow reload time, but was very effective during sieges. Richard the Lionheart died at the hands of this weapon, while Joan of Arc was badly wounded by one. This weapon was so powerful at one point that the Master Arbalétrier had control over all foot soldiers, and the crossbowmen were the most esteemed of all soldiers in the French armies. The crossbow was particularly impactful during wars in the 12th century, especially the Battle of Bouvines in 1214. Eventually, towards the 15th century, the impact of crossbowmen was increasingly diminished, though they continued being used for centuries after. By the end of the 18th century, crossbowmen were only used for maintaining order within cities.
The mangonel. The mangonel was used in ancient China and later across Eurasia. It operated by having men pull cords attached to a lever, which then slung projectiles. The mangonel was a highly efficient anti-personnel weapon and was often used in supportive positions alongside archers. Some incredibly large mangonels have been described throughout history, especially towards the 11th century. There is one specific account in which the Seljuks constructed a mangonel that required 400 men to pull, and fired stones weighing over 20 kilograms. One of the latest accounts of significant usage of the mangonel was during the 1291 siege of Acre, where the Mamluk Sultanate fielded over 70 mangonels.
What's good, everybody? We are back. Hopefully, you got your snacks. Hopefully, you got everything you needed to watch this exciting next series we have in store for us. And we're already getting to see some matchups ahead and the maps that we got picked as well.
Yeah, look at that. We're starting off with Basin, and it's gonna be the Malians coming out here from Marine Lord versus the English from Vortex. Now, usually in the normal game mode, we tend to see Malians being a little bit favored here against the English, but this is Empire Wars. Nothing really stays the same. We saw French already winning against Mongols. That doesn't happen usually. Usually, it's like the Mongols winning handily against the French, and yeah, with that, it's going to be very interesting to see how this matchup is going to be playing out. Marine Lord with the Malians here, and Vortex the English. I mean, that's an interesting one. Also, very interesting is when we look at the banned civs here. Has it been similar
Yep.
in the last set? Like
Yeah.
Abbasid and Ottomans getting banned here. So I feel like players might have figured out something here. Figured out that these civs are probably like within about some of the strongest. Abbasid I can see for sure. Ottomans. Yeah, also makes sense. Yeah, I can see both of these civs being banned out here by the players, and yeah.
There's just so much tempo when it comes to Ottomans and ABBA both on in regards to Empire Wars. But enough of those civs because we're not going to be seeing those civs today as they've been banned out. And we might not even be seeing those in the finals either if it continues to be keeping to the same path. But as far as playing against Mali, most of the games that I've casted, I've seen whatever civilization they played in actually go for immediate Dark Age aggression. The thing about English, though, it's men at arms, very, very expensive, and actually would delay up your feudal age a bit, and might not really get that same payoff because you do want to get the houses start burnt, and the spears are good because you get more bodies, you get more torches.
Exactly. So yeah, when you go for men at arms, you're probably not going to be able to set too many of the Malian houses there on fire on those pit mines. It's also going to delay you, and Malians, they have a perfect response to that early men at arm push. They just go up for their own feudalation, then they just pump out a couple Musafadi warriors. They can take down those men at arms pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's one of these that like both of these civs, they can kind of play their own game. They can kind of be the ones that forces the opponent to tend to react to them. But the thing is you might not have to. But enough of that. We have our game number 1 of this final semifinal series starting. It's Marine Lord in the red playing as Mali and Vortex in the blue playing as the English on Basin.
Here we go. Both players actually opening up with a very early wheelbarrow. So that's going to be immediately the thing that we're noticing here. And also Vortex opening up with his own barracks. So it is going to be that early men-at-arms push that we're going to be seeing. Also, not just going out with those men-at-arms, sending the villagers out as well. So outpost maybe, like with those men-at-arms, could be happening here.
Yeah, so it does tend to play into exactly what I've expected against Mali. Having Mali start with a full set of houses around their pit mine and that many villagers, it's just too strong for them. Plain and simple. You have to find a way to deny some of that passive resources, and that's where you'll see it now. Vortex, he's found out where that initial pit mine is. He's going to try to get over there, obviously, not only with the men in arms, but the villagers as well, get an outpost, deny the whole pit mine, deny the houses around it, and forget what we were talking about. We're needing the extra torches. You got those because you brought 3 villagers instead of 1.
And not just that, you also got 2 scouts that you start with here, so definitely no shortage when it comes to those torches. Outposts already getting dropped, and look at that, the 2 gold mines! They're close to each other, right next to each other, so if Vortex get this outpost up, it's gonna immediately give him a good position to torch onto the other one. And Marino is pulling villagers, but the men-at-arms is just around the corner.
And not only that, these are English villagers. He could start shooting them with the short bows and kiting them back away if he wanted to. I'm surprised he didn't actually. Could have just gotten some extra free damage if he wanted. But this starts the pit mine burn, and that's the key. You see it here now. First men-at-arms, immediate focus, pit mine. Scout, pit mine. Another men-at-arms, pit mine. It is all about denying the gold generation as fast as possible. Delay the cow boom. Delay this tempo that the Mali has.
And this is also why the English are just so strong here in Empire Wars. They're starting off with 8 farms immediately, ton of passive, like, not passive, but like active food that you're getting here, that you're gathering up there. And there's the next one. The next outpost is immediately going to be coming in. Yeah, Marino is going to have a tough start here. He's not going to get a lot of passive gold, and look at that. He's immediately starting to make cattle. He was thinking that he could get some easy gold here early on.
Yeah, was not going to be able to play out as expected now. Marine Lord does have to react, drops triple production building, stables double range. He's going with some javelin throwers to start out, and stables, I'm sure we might get some Sofa, maybe some warrior scouts potentially.
Janissary is the first unit to be coming out here. Vortex on the other side, making his own longbowman. Hasn't scouted out the production buildings yet. Is a little bit busy with trying to torch down that pit mine. That's definitely information that he will like to have here in a little bit, but he's going to see that javelin throw making his way across, so he's going to have that. Looks like at one point, Marine Lord, he also lost one of his scouts there. Only having one scout right now out on the map.
Yeah, and Vortex is able to circle around, sees the pit mine immediately when it gets built, when the houses are starting to get built around it as well. So at least has the information, might not have a way to deny it. He's sending longbows across. He's got longbow men-at-arms versus that warrior scout javelin thrower.
So far, he just keeps massing up these javelin throws, but it's tough massing javelin throws when you're low on gold, and we can see that right now. He has only 22 gold in the bank. He needs 40 for every single javelin throws. He's just massing up a lot of these warrior scouts right now as well. Warrior scouts don't do any bonus damage until you get into Castle Age, until you get the veterancy upgrade on them. That's when they actually start doing bonus damage to range units. Until then, they only have their base stats going for themselves.
And look at that, a Men-at-Arms is already over on that eastern gold vein, I think. Yep, he arrives right as Marine Lord moves out, not only with the villager, but 5 villagers have moved out that way. A javelin thrower reacts, but Vortex, he has more military headed this way to support him. And so wants to have this main focus. It's all about denying Molly's side.
It's going to be a lot of pressure here coming out. Man-at-Arms in position, but yeah, that's a lot of javelin throwers out right now. Should pretty much be enough to start one-shotting. I think just one more to be able to one-shot these longbowmen. And also a thing is that the javelin throwers, they have 1.25 tiles of movement speed compared to the 1.12 from the longbowmen. So they're quite a bit faster here, able to catch up and take them down. And Vortex is going to lose a couple of these longbowmen here.
Not only the longbowmen, the javelin throwers are able to get some damage onto the men-at-arms, onto, I think, basically every single Vortex unit is going to end up taking a decent amount of damage here just because of the mobility that you were talking about. Not only the javelin throwers having the movement speed, but obviously the scouts having the greatest movement speed and the ability to heal. So Vortex just says, all right, send the men-at-arms in, might as well get as much return damage if they're going to end up dying anyways.
Now Marine Lord still messing on a lot of these javelin throwers. We don't see any horsemen yet coming out from Vortex. Instead, he went for a second TC, so going the eco-scaling route now behind this.
The thing is you're just now building this. This is just, it feels a little late. You invested into a lot of military, and you lost a lot of that military. You've delayed Mali on the other side quite a bit, but they've still now have like this defensive. They have 12 javelin throwers already. They got 8 warrior scouts. This is like a huge amount of units for Marine Lord, and he's still being able to get pit mines. He's still being able to get that boom going behind this too.
Yeah, getting the second pit mine over there, quite big. He didn't have to invest anything so far into this defense here. And I mean, he got the first pit mine completely for free, right, from Empire War, so it's not really like he lost anything, or at least didn't lose anything that he actively invested into. Those 2 pit mines are now going to be able to supply him with the resource that he needs. And now, actually, Marine Lord in a position to snipe out any new units coming out here from Vortex as the production building, the barracks is forward.
Yeah, the barracks, it's going to end up going down. Not only that, the houses can be pressured. The edge of those farms can start to be pressured as well. I mean, this is just great where Marine Lord, when you get forced to making units and you've pushed your opponent back, you might as well be doing something with your units. And so that's where he ends up getting great damage out. Barracks has been denied.
I'm surprised we haven't seen the Horseman switch here so far. There has not been a barracks coming out yet. That came out yet from Marine Lord. At least I don't think so. At least no Donzo has been produced so far. And having this horseman is also really, really great. Oh, no, there are... Wait, never mind. That's Marine Lord, right? Yeah, that is Marine Lord's production buildings. So, no horseman yet from Vortex. If Vortex gets horsemen out, they are so great at finding out these production building locations, or rather the location of these pit mines out on the map. Oh, Sheep.
Take some free sheep.
And the javelins, they're just going to be able to duck and dive and kill villagers here.
Yeah, this is just where it's so difficult to play against javelin throwers. Even if Vortex is looking at this, which he is, it's like, all right, great. Jumps inside the TC. This is so much idle time and maybe gets one return kill, if that.
This is a very tough position right now. He keeps massing more and more spearmen. Now, spearmen are great against the warrior scouts and also do pretty well against the javelin throwers. At least they don't take any bonus damage from them. And they have the same amount of movement speed, so they're able to at least catch up in some regards. Oh!
But there again, it's the beneficial trades for Marine Lord. He's dealing with this raid at home pretty easily, just with a few more javelin throwers and getting pressure on the 2 TC of Vortex. So Vortex hasn't really been able to create an eco lead, and in reality, if you look at how much passive resources Marine Lord is going to be able to get, especially if Castle Age comes, it is a scary situation for the English player.
Considering how many cows Marine Lord already has, like every single cow in Castle Age is going to be worth like 1.5 villagers. Oh. Not able to get too much there though.
2 surrounds. Oh, only one after the Vills kill some for the escape. So only 1 villager kill there. Could have been a lot worse.
And now Vortex actually going to be in a position here to go up to the next age. Marine Lord only lacking a little bit of gold to age up as well. Got a lot of wood remaining though. I think what could be the option for Marine Lord? I mean, there's already a ton of spearmen out, so I don't think it's going to be Sofa play. Then again, Sofas are just so good universally. It might still just be a complete Sofa play here.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that the extra wood, you can just drop whatever production building he wants if he wants to go into anything different. But I mean, I feel like Sofa are just so strong when you get that imported armor and you have so much food coming in from your Grand Fulani cow boom.
Right, so as soon as Marine Lord gets that Grand Fulani up, it's going to be like he's getting an additional 30 villagers immediately worth of food income just with that cow boom. Vortex, he's going to go for the King's Palace, so he's going to need a little bit of time to get an even kind of income through villagers. And even then, like the villagers, they take up population space, the cattle don't. The cattle don't take any population space up at all. Right now, Marine Lord, he still has what feels like the superior army. It's going to be very difficult here for Vortex to push out. Maybe it's going to be a Man-at-Arms play with the upgrade Man-at-Arms.
I mean, yeah, like you said, I feel like the Marine Lord army, it's the army that you can dive TCs. You can dive the English base, and it doesn't really matter because it's javelin throwers, especially once you get some upgrades and Castle Ages through. And I mean, I feel like it's going to be hard for Vortex to actually become fully online. These farms to the east, he hasn't been on for like the whole entire game. He's been on the deer for a while, but those are going to be running low here pretty soon. And look at the food income difference. Vortex isn't even at 1,000 food per minute, and Marine Lord, we're about to see his food probably up at 1,600 here in a little bit.
It's going to be able to rise quite a bit, and behind that, Marine Lord, he's not going for the Sofa play. Instead, he's getting the Musafari Redundancy upgrade. Musafari is going to be in queue. That's a great counter to any Man-at-Arms coming out from Vortex.
Yep, going ahead and getting the ranged armor number 2 because it's English that you're playing against. That is one of, actually, I probably would say ranged armor is your biggest priority against English, especially if you're trying to be aggressive towards them.
Both players also going for the relics. Marine Lord already has 2 imams in queue. Vortex just now getting his monastery up. Couple more Men-at-Arms in queue. Armorclad also coming out. With Armorclad, these Men-at-Arms actually take a lot less damage from the Javelin Throwers. Javelin Throwers have a high base attack damage, but getting 2 bonus Pierce Armor there gonna make a big difference.
Siege engineering starting to come in for Marine Lord. He's gonna want to start dropping some rams and actually going for this all in. He sees the army composition, he sees the spears, he sees a couple of the Men-at-Arms, and probably going to go ahead and click on those in a little bit and see if Armorclad's through, because you definitely want to know that before taking fights. But look at this trade already. He's getting a good amount of the spears dead, although doesn't matter super significantly. He's still taking some decent trades.
I mean, Vortex, he still has the Longbowman. Longbowman 1 more ranged than these Javelin Throwers. And when it comes to actual engagements, the Javelin Throwers will have to get really close up into the face of the army from Vortex in order to actually be able to hit the Longbowman, which in theory shouldn't be possible with a frontline from Vortex. So the Longbowmen are going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Musafari warriors. Like in actual battle, it might be that Vortex's army is still going to be better here.
The only problem is the numbers. Look at not only the numbers on the field, look at the numbers in queue. Marine Lord, 15 units in queue. He's got 55 units
it's the
now.
Food income.
It's
the food income. It's just such a big difference. Villagers don't want to be there on the front line. Wants to get an outpost out in the middle, but looking at the army here from Marine Lord, it doesn't feel like he has the position to actually get that outpost up.
There's the Musafatis, there's the reinforcing units. Look at how many there are. He immediately has to fall back. Vortex immediately starting to run away, and just too many units and reinforcements on the way. Marine Lord, he might just choose to continue to pressure this, continue to take this dive, even under the TC fire.
That's the network of castles now, though. That means the Longbowmen are going to be firing quite a bit quicker, but Vortex still doesn't want to take this engagement yet. Doesn't have the army count. Not by a long shot right now. Marine with almost 30 more military units out on the field, and that's what's like one of the great strengths of Mali, being able to completely flood your opponent with military units.
Food per minute compared to Vortex just now got up to 1,400 because he built another set of farms, but you can just see how online this Mali economy got earlier than English, and it's just the tempo's too much right now. He's just going to burn down the TCs. He doesn't even need the Rams. He got siege engineering and just, why build the Rams? He has enough units.
And the Rams are going to be there to also annoy the military units, because what he's going to need to pull some military units or villagers in order to take care of the Rams. And there we go. Rams are getting built now. And look at that Vortex. He doesn't have a lot of leeway when it comes to his population space. If these 4 houses get taken down, he's going to be immediately pop capped.
I mean, Marine Lord, I feel like he's about to be pop capped at 200 just with how many military units he's producing. It's 65 villagers, but he's already about to hit triple digits on the military.
And now the Rams are going to be coming in. Vortex is still producing a lot of units, but it's 47 Musafati warriors out right now and 40 javelin throwers.
And look at what he focuses right off the bat. It's the production. It's going to be even harder for Vortex to stabilize if he can't have production.
Network of castles once again activates, but the flood is in. So many units out here for Marine Lord, and it feels like it's going to be nearly impossible here for Vortex to hold this. Still falling back more and more, but the longer he falls back, like, he's not going to be able to mass up as quickly as Marine Lord is able to reinforce this.
He finally is starting to get a bigger queue. Has about 10 units in queue. That's the first time I've really seen that from Vortex. But Marine Lord, he's only dropped to 90 units during this timeout. And it's just Vortex taking damage. And Marine Lord is just looking like his numbers are steady and staying where they're at.
In such a huge mass, he definitely needs siege in this one. But no siege workshop out from Vortex. No siege in the queue. And he doesn't have the wood for any siege as well. 30 military units versus 92. And the army count from Vortex is falling further and further behind.
And game number 1 goes over to Marine Lord. Just shows that Mali tempo, shows that cow boom paying off and just dominating with that military ball.
Look at that military count. That's just a huge climb there. We can see the eco count there from Vortex looking great with that 3 TC play. But it's so deceptive because the Malians behind that, they got the cattle. So they got like an invisible 30 villager on top of that, on top of what you see here right now. So it's more been like even between these 2 players towards the end. And if you look at the military count, just an absolutely insane climb there for Marine Lord.
After he hits castle, you just see the astronomical, the graph just goes straight up. And then there's a point where that graph almost goes to vertical because of how many units Marine Lord was producing, just dropped a ton of production and nonstop had that flood go into Vortex's base and didn't let off the gas. But game number 1, solidly played out by Marine Lord. And we will not have a mirror matchup in game 2. It's Delhi versus Mongols on Hill and Dale.
All right, that's going to be another interesting one. Delhi, also very good civilization here for Vortex. Hill and Dale, we saw it earlier. The Mongols looking very good there on Hill and Dale as well. We saw B with a very big army mass there, being able to flood his opponent. But it's going to be an army composition that I'm not sure is going to be working out there if we play against Delhi here in this one. Mongols versus Delhi. It's gonna be interesting to see what Vortex exactly is going for. Maybe like his brother, he's gonna go for the Tower of Victory into mass infantry kind of play here.
Well, you say like his brother went Tower of Victory into into Ghazi Raiders.
That might have not. Maybe later on it would have been another unit. The game kind of was over before then.
Yeah, you're probably right. But as we see countdown, not too long here, we're getting the game set up, and I mean, this is really one where Hillendale. It surprised me to see these civilization choices, and we'll see what the pros have in mind, but a huge gifted subs coming in. Appreciate that right before game number 2. Marine Lord as the Mongols in the color red. Vortex as the Delhi in the color blue.
Yeah, we're here on Hillendale. Immediately seeing all of these scout-like units. We got the Khan here as well, making their way onto the map, getting all of those sheep. And something that we haven't done here so far, I think we could go over it again. Like, we're playing Empire Wars here. It's a little bit different than your usual game mode. You start off with a lot more villagers than you usually do. And the Mongols, they immediately start off with their Uvu and 2 pastures right on that. So they get a lot of passive sheep there from as well. On the opposite side, the Delhi, they start off with a mosque with 3 scholars immediately inside of it. So they get a little bit of a boost to their early research timing. And we do see the Tower of Victory here coming out and the Silver Tree for Marine Lord.
Yeah, Silver Tree and markets. This is one thing about Hillendale. The markets will have a spawn at times where it's just like nice tucked into the corner. Obviously, you can't wall it, but you get some nice kind of like tree line protection. And as the Mongols, you kind of drop some outposts along there. So it works out perfectly for you. And you have that maximum efficiency for how much gold your traders bring back in.
Yeah, you also got these nice natural defensive walls here. Natural walls on this map. Scout units, Scout and the Khan, just passing each other there. We already see some spearmen out from Marine Lord. Double blacksmith coming out here now for Vortex. He's gonna get us all his research going nice and quickly. Immediately on Feudal Age, also queuing up all these additional technologies. Sanctity also in queue. We see stable now coming up from Marine Lord, so very likely gonna be a Spearman and Keshik kind of composition. Vortex already got the right production building here for this one, immediately coming up with the barracks here.
Yeah, I mean, as expected too. I feel like all of these higher elo players, when it comes to the Mongols, the French, the Rus, like you're gonna be expecting Knights, Keshiks, like any of that mobile unit that has that very, very strong charge attack. It's hard not to produce it. And with the Mongols, if you're going trade, you finally have a unit to spin your gold on when your trade boom pays off. So that's why it's that much better as well.
Look at that. One of each production buildings here coming out from Vortex. So he's going to be able to make a very diverse army composition here early on in the game. And 2 of his units, both the archers and the spearmen, are going to benefit from that Tower of Victory. Each going to get 15% bonus attack speed here.
Yeah, that's really one that, especially as that archer ball, that spear ball gets bigger and bigger, it gets scarier and scarier to deal with it when you take those full head-on engagements. Like, you'll be like, oh, the numbers are even. Why'd I lose that? And it's like, Tower Victory. That's why you lost it. His are better.
Yeah, exactly. And that now, first units making their way across the map. Ghazi Raiders, Archers, and Spearmen all in production. Can we check if Vortex put his scholars inside the production buildings? He put them inside the stable. Yeah, 2 still inside of that mosque in order to boost the research timing. First blacksmith upgrade somewhat halfway across. Look at that. That's not a 1-1-1. That's a ton of extra archery ranges.
Yeah, Marine Lord heavily transitioning into those archers, and you have to respect the Delhi's ability to be able to do that efficient production, like you said. He can easily move that scholar into the archer range if he needs be and produce up more archers or produce up more spears if need be. So very, very cool ability to transition if needed, or if he's able to produce any extra scholars, he can actually just sit them right on inside all of them.
Sanctity is almost completed, so I guess Vortex right about now would be sending out his initial scholars out on the map in order to start capping those sacred sites. If we take a look on that, I think the first one is just about to make his way over.
Yep.
First scholar,
and the second
already
one.
there.
And one
That's
thing we
gonna
haven't
be-
talked about is the sacred site location. Looks pretty nice for Vortex, having 2 on his side, almost like behind his, level with his cliff.
The cliff cuts off one of the sacred sites a little bit. It would be ideal if it was like Marine Lord, right? Like Marine Lord's base opens up straight towards those sacred sites, but they're a little bit further away from him. Overall, though, a very nice spawn. Not too biased for either player, but now this is a huge army here from Vortex. Don't think Marine Lord already has what it takes in order to fend this off, and there we go. Spearman out. Gonna get caught off guard, though, by the archers there.
Yeah, not only does he not have the numbers to take
he
this
can
fight,
wall.
his army split, and Vortex is about to wall off the trade. Totally neutralize the trade where the silver tree's coming
Crazy.
from. Doesn't choose to do it yet, just a nice gold for a second.
He should do, though, right? Like, he totally should just put a wall there.
I assume so. I don't know why he wouldn't. He might just choose to wall around the silver tree straight up. That might be
also
the
catching
idea.
some reinforcements here.
Oh, didn't quite get the units on there that he needed. Takes out another 2 traders. But Marine Lord has pushed up in the middle. He has canceled out the reinforcing units. Has a big little archer ball that he's built up. But Vortex has the exact unit to deal with that with the Ghazi Raiders and his own archers.
The wall did not get built, which, I mean, many times you kind of forget about the Delhi, like actually being able to make walls with the infantry. Like that happens to a lot. It happens to me every time as well.
Yeah, it's so much easier to call that out in your cast, and we make all these realizations. Keshik's so close. One does end up falling, but it feels like Vortex, again, not taking the most efficient trades, but he's fine. The reason being he was waiting for the Ghazi Raider reinforcement, going for the surround.
Archers.
Like I said, the perfect counter unit to the archers.
So many of the reinforcements archers here are going to get taken down, and what's coming next here?
More
It's
archers are
gonna
coming.
more
Why would
archers.
you do that? Just run away, Marine Lord. Why would you group back up? You can't even kite this out. You're doing negative damage to those Ghazi Raiders.
That is
And
so
it's
much
more
damage on these
archers.
archers.
Why are you making it's more archers? Every
Vortex
time I see
already
it,
has
it's
the
just more
blacksmith
archers.
upgrades. Vortex already has the blacksmith upgrades. Marine Lord doesn't have any.
Every time I see a red unit running from the top, I'm like, maybe it's going to be a spear, maybe it's going to be a Keshik, and it's more archers. It's not what you need, Marine Lord. You've been taking awful trades right now. Behind this, Delhi been able to control 2 sacred sites and deny the majority of trade. 3rd sacred site starting to be capped as well.
This is a very good start here right now for Vortex. Marine Lord definitely on the back foot here right now. Massing up more and more archers right now. He needs to get a really big army going.
I feel like Vortex is at the point with Delhi. Their tempo, they can just deny the trade fully. And with Hill and Dale's, the 1 gold mine on your walls, like you can basically just never allow Mongols outside the walls, never allow them to get gold, never allow trade to get online if you do this correctly.
Look at that, behind all of this, Vortex is about to click up to the castle age with a huge military lead. Behind it all. 3 sacred sites, providing just with so much income here.
Yeah, Marine Lord has to nonstop produce. He has to respect the numbers that Vortex has, but compound of the defender, and it's not just a few villagers building it. 20 villagers on that compound of the defender, wants to get that through as fast as possible.
Vortex, he went up with the Tower Victory, does not have the bonus scholars here from the Dome of the Faith, so the techs in Castle Age are going to take a little bit of extra time for him to research, but he's immediately going to have access to the Lancers, going to immediately have access to Man's Arms. That could already be very, very big here, considering that Marine Lord's main army is just consistent of archers right now.
Yeah, and the key is he almost already had all the feudal age techs through already. I think there were just 1 or 2 blacksmith techs that were just barely finishing, and he can click up all of his castle age research techs, and now just needs time. Just go ahead and give yourself some time, start massing up some castle units. Once you get a few of those castle units there, your spearmen archers on the other side, good luck fighting some men-at-arms or some lancers.
Yeah, behind all of this as well, like, he's also picking up a lot of the relics. 2 relics already going over to Vortex here. One of those relics also was on the side from Marine Lord here. That's a very, very nice relic pick there.
Techs do take a
Lances out.
while to come through with only 4 scholars, and like you said, those scholars, they're picking up relics. They're not inside the moss, so taking even longer. However, there are lancers there, and we just saw the archers shoot on all on top of one of the lancers. Think it did negative damage. The mobility is on Vortex's side. He's gonna take this fight, gonna take this engagement. Spearman numbers starting to thin out quite heavily, and there's still a good amount of lancers here.
A lot of the Ghazi Raiders did go down though. Marine Lord trading out effectively here with his own Spearman. There's only a couple of Ghazi Raiders left remaining. First Lancer, already low HP as well. The caches from Marine Lord though, very low HP. And he's still on the back foot. He has to retreat further and further, and more units coming out. Vortex up on 8 Lancers right now.
Yeah, this was the perfect timing to push in. He knew his reinforcements, they were going to be the mobile Lancers, the very tanky unit. As Marine Lord's army thins out, he's not going to be able to clean up those Lancers whatsoever. The archers can't focus in on the spears at all, and there's only a few spears left on Marine Lord's side.
Spearmen get taken down. Great micro here by Vortex, taking down the Spearmen. Now the Lancers are able to clean up. More Lancers coming in.
5 more spears though. Again. 5 more spears coming in from Marine Lord. There's not as many archers left for Vortex here to be able to clean up those spearmen very, very quick. And Marine Lord, he's at least able to hold this initial push for a second. But look at what's going on the other sides of the map. A few Lancers get split off. They're demolishing, decimating the trade. And as I said that frontline push got stopped for a second, it was only a second indeed, as Vortex keeps on the push, and Marine Lord, he has 0 tempo. He has no ability to hold this now.
He has no food in the bank. It's going to take him a while to get up to the next age. It's not really an option for him right now to macro towards that. He needs more and more military units out right now. Great micro from him, though, able to split off a couple of units, make sure the trade is still going. But this only prolongs the inevitable problem here of Vortex just getting this huge ball of units that is upgraded in Castle Age.
Yeah, Vortex, he's starting to have so much gold in the bank, he doesn't know what to do with it. Like, you can spend it on a bunch of units, you can spend it on, you know, a bunch of scholars, essentially, and that's about it. But he doesn't have the extra food, doesn't have for those units, and he's got 13 Lancers out already. He doesn't even need more units. He just needs to take fights over and over and over again. Still has 3 relics, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him secure the last 2.
That is not enough units against these Lancers. And Vortex, he knows. He's just pushing further in. Couple more Spearmen there. If they're able to clump up against the Lancers, they're able to take good trades. Oh, it's not enough. It is not enough.
Spearman got thinned out so quickly. There's 6 spearmen left. Every single time one runs to the front, I feel like it immediately gets focused by the few archers that are there, by the Lancers just kind of transitioning that attack, and Marine Lord not able to take it on the game number 1, throws in the towel. Vortex tying up the series.
Here we go. Great display here from Vortex on the Delhi. Able to take this game, just the better engagements there in the midfield, and yeah, Marine Lord just was not able to get up to the Castle Age here. Means that Vortex is going to be able to equalize the set so far. 1-1 for now.
Yeah, very early on, like you said, those engagements were taken so well by Vortex. He was doubling the unit count for Marine Lord. Marine Lord got to the point where he had to respect that, create more units. Vortex stopped his production for a sec, went to Castle. You can see that line stop for Vortex and go straight up for Marine Lord, but that's because of the trade that happened right before that. Hits Castle Age, gets upgrades, gets the stronger units, and game is over from there.
Yeah, looking at the military graph, we see past Castle Age, it looks like the military graph goes down even. The thing is, though, that what's remaining there for Vortex are these high-value Castle Age units. Meanwhile, Marine Lord, he had to reinvest so much more into his military after losing his mass that he just never was able to go up to Castle Age behind that. With that, game number 1, rather game number 2, it's an equalizer now. 1-1 each, and now we're going to be going over to Canal. It's going to be Delhi from Marine Lord versus Mongols for Vortex, and Mongols are so great on Canal. It is so nice to be able to scale both on water as well as passively scale the trade.
Yeah, this is one of those, I mean, just flip-flop the civs from last map, and we did see the Delhi mirror before on Canal, so obviously that is one of the civs that people think is a strong suit, but Mongols would probably go right in behind that. battle for the river, but the trade will be booming as well.
Yeah, both civilizations have some great bonuses when it comes to water. Marine Lord with the Delhi. The Delhi do get fishing ships which are able to shoot out arrows. So early on, in that kind of period of time, the Delhi fishing ships are able to make a difference potentially if both players take their time to go up to the feudal age. But the Mongols, they get that passive stone income with the Uwu, which in Empire Wars you get straight off the bat. So being able to get like these really, really quick emplacements out on your docks can be very beneficial there for them.
Yeah, and I feel like this map especially is one of those where once you get your initial forward dock, like you'll see a lot of players actually focus on that first dock for like right in the middle of the river. And once you get emplacements on that, you start immediately denying the fishing on the other side because of how far it can shoot, how much vision it can give you.
Exactly. Having that dock in the middle gives you so much vision, so much map control as well. There's only one impasse through which you can go. Either you go, like the map is split into two sides, and you can only go through one spot in the middle, one side to the other, or all the way from the back of your base. So having control over that middle side, middle part of the map means so much for your mobility to be able to like navigate the map here.
Yep. That's just another reason. It's not only the food, because there isn't a ton of other food on the map other than these shoreline fish, but it's also that mobility, like you said. But in just a second, we'll be getting into here. We'll be getting to see what type of early game strategies these players will be going for.
Indeed. And here we go. Game number 3 in our second set of the day, the last semifinal in this series, Empires at War. Starting off here, we see Marine Lord in the color red playing as the Delhi Sultanate. We're here on Canal. On the opposite side, we got Vortex playing as the Mongols. Both players immediately sending villagers out towards the middle, wanting to get those stocks up. Interestingly enough, Marine Lord only sending a single villager out, so maybe he wants to go for a little bit more for defensive dock, not immediately in the middle shallows where you're able to cross. And there we go, does put it a little bit further back.
Yeah, no 5-vil scholar play like we saw in the Delhi mirror earlier. It's just 1-vil moving up with this kind of somewhat normal opening for a hybrid map. Silver Tree already getting built, 9 villagers on it. He wants that finished as soon as possible. You can start queuing up traders if you want, and he can start. Oh, and look at the aggressive dock that Vortex is placing. He scouted out Marine Lord's initial dock, and he said, "All right, fine. You gave up that middle one. I'll take that positioning for myself then."
Look at that. Uwu working hard on the back. Already almost got the required stone that he needs in order to get an emplacement up on that dock. He's going to be able to contest all the shoreline fish there in front of the dock from Marine Lord. That is going to be a very great position here for Vortex to start the game off in. Silver Tree as well is going to be able to scale his economy with that trade. Marine Lord, though, opening up with the barracks, gets the spearmen out already. And if I saw it correctly, Vortex opened up with the stable. So yeah. Marine Lord already having the counter out.
Yep, having the correct counter out, but not having the mobility that he needs. So, you know, those Keshiks that pop out, they'll probably not take any engagements against those spears if possible.
There we go. Age Up came in, just needs a little bit more wood for that emplacement on the dock. It's going to be a light chunk to start off with, though, and after that, immediately queues up the emplacement on that.
Yeah, and the thing about it, though, there's going to be this timing where Marine Lord might be able to push back this archer ship, but more importantly, he might be able to kill one of those villagers with his springled ship when it pops out.
Yeah, springled ship could do some good damage there. Has an archer ship in queue right after that. But the emplacement already halfway through.
That emplacement just goes so fast. If he's able to kill down the archer ship, then those spears will become so much more effective. The villagers, though, they're pushing up. Nose emplacement's about to come through. The spearmen
the repair is so
quick. The repair's so fast. The archer ship, though, starting to help. The spear focusing in on a villager. The springled ship focusing a villager as well. One of them almost going down. One villager does end up falling.
Killed 2 spearmen, though. Good value there. Gained, actually. And as long as he's able to keep that one alive, okay, he's not going to be able to keep that one alive much longer. Or is he?
No, another villager's going to go down.
But now he has a war chunk out.
So he does end up keeping the archer ship alive. I thought Marine Lord was going to be able to take it out. He prioritized the villager instead. Needs one more sprinkled shot, actually. And it
Oh, he
hits
went
the
onto the
Springald
water.
ship. Oh no. It's 1-1 and 1 out for Vortex though, and this usually pushes back Marine Lord completely. If Vortex steps up too far though, this gives some vulnerability to any sort of ship coming out, whether it's Demo, whether it's Springald ship, can easily kill the counter, and great trades there, but not for long as the Demo kills both and finishes off the trade for Vortex.
And behind that, look at that. Vortex, he's got the Keshik out. Managed to deny some of the gold here from Marine Lord. Gold villagers did get idled out. Sanctity has finished up now for Marine Lord, but he hasn't been able to send out any scholars yet. Two wants the Sacred Side.
The first trader just starts popping out for Vortex. Another couple in queue. Second one is already out as well. So you, as you mentioned, that eco getting invested into in a couple different ways for the Mongol side.
Thank you there for Marine Lord. Another archer ship. So demo ship out again.
He needs that archer ship to kill the demo. Does get a Springald shot with it. Oh, and it perfect actually explode.
Yeah, that was really nice. Very much needed for Marine Lord. But the golden dial there actually now paying off for Vortex. It means that Marine Lord is not able to queue up a demo ship here. Doesn't have the gold for it.
No, he does not. He's also spotting out the trade, though. Spearman should potentially be able to pick up this trader. Vortex, though, he reacts quickly to it. Things going on everywhere, though, as the more and more of the ship trades on the river. It does seem like Marine Lord is getting ready to do one of these, capture all three sacred sites at the same exact time to guarantee himself at least one, or actually, I would say guarantee himself two of them.
It's going to be a nice spot there for him. Kashyyyks are out, but Marine Lord already has the Spearman in position. Yeah, Trader going down here went the long route around. Kashyyyks don't want to protect that one, though, from the looks of it. Trade under attack, but I think there's some archers coming from Vortex. Let's get quickly. Did Vortex go into a second market there? Oh, the dock's on fire.
Oh, dock being on fire is a huge fallback. It's not just those traders, that's military units that's reinforcing the trade from Vortex. So he's investing into this. Spot kills out the Scholar before Northern Sacred Site was able to be secured by Marine Lord, and Marine Lord loses his dock. He's deli with two Sacred Sites, though. Vortex hasn't really invested into the fishing himself, but does have the control of the middle center.
Oh, one chunk. All right, got stuck there. So gets taken down. The demo ship is going to be able to take down the Bagla. And now the archer ship remains able to take down the fishing ship. Marine Lord, he still has a lot of the spearmen out on the field. Now also getting some Ghazi Raiders out. Doesn't have the food income support anymore from water, though. Not that he ever really had that. That was aggression immediately out there. But it looks like he's just trying to take down the dock now from Vortex. Lots of units heading toward there.
Yeah, this is the problem, though, when you lose water. Look at the food resources for Marine Lord. He's on to the berries now. The next food is the deer and one other berries. Other than that, that's it. And so there's going to have to end up being a farm transition. It's going to be this struggle timing if Vortex just extends this out, especially because he has trade investing into as well.
Look at the amount of scholars Marine Lord is investing into right now. 6 scholars in queue here. So he's going to try to get his tech ups in really, really quickly. Also now transitioning heavily into an archer play, so getting his tri-composition out. Only issue is that for now, it feels like Vortex, sure, he doesn't have as much military out on the field, but the amount of archers he has, if there's a clash right now, he should be coming out on top.
Oh, and the Kashyyyks getting a good dive in onto those Ghazi Raiders. Spearmen weren't quite close enough. And Marine Lord, just trying to build up this military mass, hasn't been able to quite secure multiple sacred sites for an extended period of time.
And behind that, Vortex, he's very happy with just being able to secure his trade route. Behind that, also scaling on water, so gets additional income from that. 25 military units, though, compared to 37. Marine Lord able to suddenly scale up his military production very quickly. But at the same time, I say that a lot of that military is just the scholars and one fishing ship.
Yeah, the question is he going to bring those scholars forward, try to like force this head-on engagement on the trade? He can like, there's double markets on either side, so the trade can be repositioned. Marine Lord actually choosing to wall off the sacred side on the bottom instead of just the full market as well.
Suddenly having a lot of archers as well. They're just not in position right now. I feel like right now Marine Lord actually suddenly was able to mass up enough units to, if it comes to a clash, Marine Lord would win the next engagement.
Yeah, pretty heavily, even without the 9 scholars being there for him and kind of deceiving the military number. It's the other units that have there that all of a sudden have equalized the count so quickly. Spearman count is up at 16, and there's just not anything close to that on Vortex's side. So the melee front line is way stronger for Marine Lord.
Go. Archers clashing against the archers. And Vortex notices that the army count here from Marine Lord a little bit too strong. Marine Lord, if he just gets a little window here, could potentially wall out that market. He's waiting for more and more reinforcements as they're coming in. Also able to deny the trade with the archers there. Not quite. Trader makes it out alive.
Just barely. Wall on the south side.
Oh, it got completed.
Does not get denied. The spear gets killed, but not before he has done his job. He has successfully finished that. Trade gets denied. 2 more traders fall.
With 2 sacred sites, Marine Lord now looking in a good spot. Neither of the players looking to go up to the castle age right now. 3 sacred sites. Clash about to happen, but still Marine Lord's army here. Looking solid. Solid army mass. Able to micro the Ghazi Raiders back when the Spearmen come in. And then pushes back forward once the Spearmen gets thinned out. Great micro here. Keshik's only just now diving in, but the Spearmen front line, it's too big. And with that, Vortex has to fall back for now. Back to the outpost.
But he knows if he falls back, he loses his economy investment. He's still just having to take this fight, taking it under the outpost. Archers just trading against archers. Ghazi being that frontline mass. There's no more spears really here anymore for Vortex.
Army value looking heavily in favor for Marine Lord right now. A lot of these archers are out, but no more frontline. Couple spearmen though. And the Keshiks are weak. They don't have a lot of HP remaining, and there aren't that many archers on the front line anymore. From Vortex, it's 17 archers to 36.
Yeah, doubling the archer count number. And I mean, you're getting to the point now where you just start taking down the Keshiks with your archers.
Exactly. The outpost just not able to secure that last little bit of the trade line here. Traders making their way into the outpost for safety. Able to get some of these spearmen down with it. I think at this point in time, I mean, the other market is not walled out yet. Vortex could, in theory, just send all of his traders to the other side. He can send them right through the middle, because the middle is controlled by him.
Marine Lord having to reposition his food onto those other sets of berries, so doesn't have a ton of food left for himself, but doesn't really matter at this point when you have that much military advantage for yourself. You can take the whole map control.
Vortex with that market, trading out the gold that he's getting here, buying some wood for it. Wants to get more and more archers out, but Marine Lord still right now heavy military lead for him.
Still just
been howling for a while.
Galley in the middle, showing what you were talking about. You don't really have this mobility and choice to be able to reposition, but with this many archers, you're just going to take down the galley. 2 shots here. Fishing ships aren't able to outheal that, and all of the fishing ships, they go down. Even more of that economic advantage of Vortex getting denied by Marine Lord's push. Yeah, he can... Oh, demo ship does as best as it could. Marine Lord, quick reaction to it, just loses a few spears. Archers in spread formation were ready for it. Vortex still just doesn't have the numbers.
If that was a demo ship from 2 years ago, not just the entire army from Marine Lord, but I think his entire base would have gone up in flames. But yeah, right now Marine Lord still having a solid military lead here. Just means that Vortex is not able to take any of these engagements. Marine Lord going out on the map, getting that berry income, getting the deer. He's on 1,500 food per minute. Meanwhile, Vortex, he's sitting in 500.
Yeah, that's really the big fallback here. He just got all of his fishing denied. That was his main food. You can see he's moving out. Looks like everyone go to the deer. I need food, and we need it now. But this really gives the... Oh, and wood as well.
Yeah, the wood line in the back of his base, it's completely run out. He doesn't even have enough wood for Gur there. He has to wait for his Gur to arrive.
Oof, not a good look. There's a little bits of these vulnerabilities, these timings that could be so detrimental when it comes to Canal. Marine Lord taking another fight. Archers, though, they're just so massed up. Spears are there to protect them from any of those Keshiks, and the Keshiks are very, very few in numbers and gets cleaned up very easily. Marine Lord taking another winning fight, slowly kiting back, not allowing the Archers for Vortex to really trade as best he can. Reinforcements arrive for him, and he's the one moving back forward.
Khan goes down every now and then. Vortex able to get a little bit of map control to get the trade running, but these traders, they're going to go down. They're not going to be able to get these resources out. Trade connecting, gets taken down. Now the Archers, they're exposed. Vortex has to fall back again.
There's 0 spears for Vortex. He stopped his spear production totally. So now the Ghazi Raiders just get to run rampant. They get to take perfect trades. The spears, they just get to sit on the Archers in case the Keshiks try to dive. And the numbers for the Archers, they're already more numerous than Vortex. This is looking like game. Marine Lord, just absolutely, it's looking like he was on when it was on Mali. He's at 90 military units with only 65 economy.
And only 30 military units for Vortex here now. Marine Lord looking very, very solid in here. Behind all of this, I mean, Vortex, he still keeps trading to this one outpost, to this one trade market. There's still another one on the opposite side of the map. I mean, he's not pushing out there. He doesn't have the. He feels like he probably doesn't have the map control there. But like the army from Marine Lord right now, it's very much like slow. It's mostly infantry.
Yeah, instead though, Marine Lord this is the time. He's just going to continue to push up, take unit after unit after unit, starts to burn down the outpost. The few Keshiks that arrive immediately have to turn around and run back home, tail between the legs.
4 sacred sites now. Sacred site victory approaching, and the military mass from Marine Lord still so strong, so overbearing. Only 24 archers compared to 53 here. And
Feels
Vortex
like the
is
old
trying his
Delhi.
best, but yeah, he's just not able to push this back, and with that, GG gets called. It's gonna be a 2-1 so far for Marine Lord in this one. Marine Lord taking game number 3.
Yeah, just another huge military ball for Marine Lord. Said you have to respect it, but Vortex wasn't able to do so with the food income that he had. Right when Marine Lord took down all the fishing ships, I feel like that was when he knew he had the massive leg up.
Yeah, we take a look at the economy count. It looked like Vortex was in a really strong position there, taking the water, taking the trade. But then Marine Lord just able to pump out so much military mass there, being able to completely overrun Vortex, taking that trade position there at the top side and just making sure that Vortex trade is not going to go unpunished.
Yeah, really solid game there by Marine Lord. Made it look quite clean. There was a time that we were actually talking about Vortex being so far ahead with the economy, like starting to get that leg up. But then we just looked at the military count, and Marine Lord just was outmatching Vortex so heavily there.
Yeah, just that military graph tells the whole story. With that, we're going to be going over to our game number 4. And this time, it's going to be a little role reversal here as we see Marine Lord playing the English and Vortex on the Malians here.
Yeah, so we talked about it last time. I'm assuming that we're going to end up seeing the same exact thing from Marine Lord, where he goes into the Men-at-Arms. He goes into this early outpost rush to try to deny the initial gold vein and the secondary gold vein, because Mali's one of those civs that if you slow down their tempo, you can actually find vulnerability there. If you let Calboom get online, you just lose.
Yeah, on this map, it's going to be a little bit different as well, because you got 2 gold veins at the start, like close to your base. After that, all the gold is going to be in the middle of the map, very exposed, very easy to harass early on. So if Marine Lord is able to deny the gold here from Vortex, could be looking very good for him. I'm still wondering, though, if that's what he's going to be going for. Last time I said that I would have loved to see the English player go for some horsemen as well, just to be able to like be more mobile on the map, have a little bit of like the ability to harass all around, like dive onto wood lines, stuff like that. That helps out a ton in that kind of matchup. And yeah, maybe Marine Lord kind of looks at like the last game that he saw there with the same matchup that he only just played. and thinks about like maybe adapting a little bit to strategy. And Sloan Runner coming in here with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you very much. Still got a couple of seconds until we're going into our game number 4 here. So, fellas, in the meantime, if you do have that Twitch Prime sub laying around, or even if not, if you do feel like you're able to give a little bit to EGCTV, who provide you all of that Age of Empires 4 esport goodness, we got our little 8 Empires at War community support goal there on the bottom right-hand side. And also, much more important, the best way to support EGCTV is going to be on !Patreon in the chat.
Exactly. Some great ways to support the future tournaments. We already have the EGC finals planned here in the coming future, but enough of the future. Let's talk about now. We are in game number 4 between Vortex and Marine Lord. Marine Lord's in the north as the English with that barracks drop immediately in the color red. Vortex in the south as the Mali, and I'm concerned. You see this on layout.
We see the thing. We see it. It's going to be the 2 gold mines right next to each other, 2 gold veins. And Vortex, he's immediately trying to expand onto that. Is he going to notice this? I mean, so far Marine Lord hasn't sent any villagers forward, but he does have a good chunk there that he could send if he wanted to. He's also getting wheelbarrow behind it. First man-at-arm is going to be in queue. I feel like if Marine Lord scouts out that gold position, Scout isn't moving towards it right now. If he spots out that there's 2 gold veins there, he's just going to do the same thing that Vortex did last game.
Yeah, the men-at-arms starting to move across. I believe he's sending a villager with it. Not 3, just 1 though, so not quite the same respect given as before. But here comes the scouting. This is exactly what he sees the first one, and then he sees the house. He knows.
Villagers. It's 13 villagers on the Mansa Quarry. Vortex, he wants that age up yesterday. That is going to be one of the fastest age ups to fuel age that we've ever seen here in Empire Wars.
I mean, it's fine. If you're Mali, your pit mines, you're immediately online. You're immediately going to be able to build that second pit mine, and your Mansa Quarry is already starting to produce those resources for you. But you can see what Marine Lord has planned. He's already got men-at-arms coming across. There's only a single villager, though.
Stable immediately gets dropped. I would have loved if that was a barracks, and if it was just like Musafati warriors coming out immediately against those men-at-arms. They're also able to very quickly take down that villager.
Very conservative tower right off the bat. Maybe just kind of doing this tower creep.
Yeah, it's outside of the vision here from Vortex. He's only just now gonna see it when the scout pushes forward. Now he sees it. Is he gonna pull villagers?
It's a scout in queue.
Oh, it's not a sofa. And he's gonna pull villagers for it.
There's so many men-at-arms here, though. This is going to cost some lives if you're going to do this. Actually, Outpost just gets canceled.
And the canceled Outpost, that's already some value there for Vortex. An Outpost takes an entire minute to be built. With 2 villagers, roughly 40-ish seconds. This already delays it a little bit. And if it gets delayed another time, that could buy Vortex enough time here. That's a lot of men-at-arms there. Villager goes down. The scouts get pulled. He's trying to burn this down as best as he can. This is why you bring more. Oh, it's going down. It's going down. Oh! And look at the healing from the scouts. The fourth scout comes out. Another outpost. Immediately. But that was like these warrior scouts are getting value. Yeah, and like every second these warrior scouts are outside of like not fighting right now, they're just gonna regenerate all of their HP. And now they focus on the vills. The javelin thrower arrives, 1 villager goes down, 2nd villager, he's gonna have to run home, but he's gonna die. Warrior scouts closing the gap. 1 falls, but huge win for Vortex here. He had never built the 2nd pit mine yet, but that's no problem. The outpost didn't go up. Some villagers did go idle there on the wood line, get repositioned now. Behind that Marine Lord now also pushing forward with some longbows, but already javelin throwers are out now. And more are going to be in queue. Yeah. Those warrior scouts, they actually want to go ahead and take these trades. Just go ahead and get as much damage down as possible on the men-at-arms, then just pull back, heal yourself up, or kill the scout, deny vision as well. 1 scout goes down, and just as we say, Vortex pulls on back. Javelin thrower still being produced. He moved out to build that pit mine, so it has 2 pit mines online as well. That's some crazy vision that he got there through the wood line. He's able to almost kill another villager there, but now the javelin throwers are in. 7 longbowmen though. The numbers are still good here for Marine Lord. Has a good front line as well. But the more Javelin throws are going to be coming in, the easier it's going to be for Vortex to pick some units off there. Warriors God has to be careful, though.
One ran right into some spears. One more longbow shot would have killed it, but Vortex barely able to escape. Marine Lord has a very scary army already. Vortex doesn't really seem to be respecting it yet, or have the ability to respect it yet. He's got plenty of wood, plenty of gold in the bank, but not the food needed. Calboom doesn't look like it started.
Yeah, I'm not seeing too many cattle ranches here right now. Marine Lord still able to push out here. It was only one archery range here for most of the time now for Vortex. It's also got that very, very early blacksmith in.
The Javelin Thrower's taken great trades with only being, having 6 there, but really could use some more. He's at like
that man-at-arm. Yeah, that man-at-arm is not long for this world. He's basically
there are
only
fractions.
Fractions in the game, indeed. 0 HP man-at-arm remaining alive for now. It's a good amount of longbows right now. With this many longbows, you could probably every now and then take like some decent engagements against the javelin throwers, but now there are 5 additional ones in the queue. Once we get like to the double-digit count on the javelin throwers, then it starts getting really, really tough there for Marine Lord. Interesting enough, like Vortex, he's behind in villagers right now. There's no second TC from Marine Lord, and Vortex is the one that killed 2 villagers. There must have been some idle time on the TC.
Yeah, must have been. And I mean, maybe he just had to respect this military mass, needed to prioritize a few more units, still getting idled off of that wood line again and again and again. And this makes it so difficult for Vortex to actually react, to actually respond to anything.
Let me take a look again. Does Vortex have any cows going right now? I know the Spanish brothers,
I don't think so.
There are some, okay. Like the Spanish brothers, every now and then they tend to go for the Farimba still. But I think nowadays it's been like established, right, that the Grand Falani Corral just gives you so much more security in the game. At this point in time, Vortex last game, he did have a second TC. Marine Lord is just going for pure 1 TC aggression right now. More Men-at-Arms also going to be in queue here. But now Musafati Warriors are also going to be coming out.
We're finally getting to the point where Vortex is starting to slowly have that Mali economy come online. He is behind on the vills like we talked about, but all of those passive resources are still helping him out so much. The pit mines now having the cows. I think he's got another cattle ranch being built, and so he's just going to continue to expand that. And we can see his queue is also being helped because of that.
And behind that, I mean, Vortex is always going to be able to just kite out here so effectively with his units, just having that extra movement speed. Now he's pushing actually past the infantry mass here, past the front line, trying to take down some of these longbows, but that is not usually a position that you want to be in with the javelin thrower, so has to fall back for now. Sure, his javelin throwers absolutely destroy the longbows, but in order to get to them, you actually have to go so close that the men-at-arms can just dive onto you.
Yeah, and the Musafatis, they can't really get on top of the men-at-arms either because the range advantage of those longbows that you talked about, even with the javelin throwers, they can snipe down those Musafati well too.
And now Marine Lord, once again, has to go on the back foot. And here we see the horseman play. This is what I've been waiting for. Triple stables and another farm cluster now coming online here for Marine Lord.
Well, you got to pay for those horsemen somehow, so the extra set of farms will easily be able to do that.
It's going to be a ton of horsemen here. He only needs 150 food per minute to pay for his TC, have full uptime. So he can, in theory, get like 6 horsemen out per minute.
Oh, yeah. And look at the queue of the horsemen already. He's already got 4 out. He's got 8 more in queue. I mean, I feel like you can cancel those 8 and go to Castle Age if you want, but no, the horsemen, they're going to be so effective here during these next fights. And more importantly, they haven't been scouted yet. It's going to be the shock factor. They counter everything out on Vortex's side.
This is exactly what I would have liked to see in this last matchup. Now we're going to be seeing it here from Marine Lord. Vortex still messing up more and more javelin throwers. Looks like his Grand Falani Corral like food transition is pretty much over. If we see next to his TC, there's going to be a lot of cattle ranches. He's getting a lot of cows out here as well. So Grand Falani Corral could be aimed for soon.
Marine Lord's trying to make sure the scout doesn't get towards the base, doesn't get towards those stables to scout out the horseman transition, but it arrives in time, sees the triple stables, and Vortex should know He needs to respect this. You might even see these Musafati get canceled. A couple more Donzo get queued up instead. Yep, there it is. Triple Donzo queue.
Immediately. Would have also loved to see some sofas to accompany that. There's only 2 spearmen from Marine Lord. Some sofas would be great there, but we're already on 12, 13 horsemen. And that's going to be a very scary army now, pushing across the map here from Marine Lord. That is 23 javelin throwers. I think that's enough to one-shot the horsemen.
Yeah, I mean, even still with the Donzo coming out, they're really not going to be too effective because longbows can snipe them out so easily. But there are the jab throwers. Everyone's stepping up. Villagers running back from the woodline again. Marine Lord taking the fight, but no network of castles. The horsemen diving in. Houses being a good little body blocker. Couple villagers going down. Javelin continuing to kite, but so much of Vortex's economy is going idle.
Yeah, a lot of the eco going idle, but a lot of the horsemen also going down. Some efficient kiting here coming out from Vortex. So just getting retasked again. I think they should be going to the woodline a little bit closer to the left side here. They're always going to have to retreat when Marine Lord pushes in here. More and more horsemen still in queue, 15 out on the field. And like Marine Lord's just waiting for Vortex to push out a little bit too far.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he thought happened there, taking the engagement again. The villagers, they're so close, like you said. The front line gets cleared up quite quickly. Villagers have to run back, and now it's all on the Javs to kite yet again.
Almost able to take down all of the Musafati warriors, as well as the Donzos that are pushing up a little bit too far.
This is good for Marine Lord because every single trade, what we've noticed is no longbows have been going down during these trades. So his longbow number has just been building and building. Yeah, he's been losing some horsemen. Yeah, he's been losing some men-at-arms. But the trades have been so effective. There's no front line for Vortex at all because the longbows, they shred it.
And even with all of the passive cattle food income, Marine Lord is the one right now with the much greater food income here behind all of that. Sure, Vortex has a huge gold income, and now he's actually trading out resources. I think he hasn't made a market somewhere. He just bought food. Now he's going to be able to go up to the next age. And here's the great thing with the Malians. Their veteran seed upgrades only cost half, and they come in like half the time that it usually takes other civilizations. But Marine Lord looks like he's not giving that Vortex that much time here. He's pushing in with the ram now.
The ram pushed up, decided to turn around. Is he waiting for another one? Waiting for the units? I do see an outline of an outpost there for Marine Lord. So I love that he needs the network of castles bonus during all of this. He's even pulling villagers, wants to get that outpost up even further. This timing push could be detrimental because you talked about that gold income coming in, those eco techs and everything being quicker, but you still need gold for that. Vortex has 400. The first pit mine about to be denied. Stepping up for this fight. He is able to get both of those techs into queue immediately. But how much damage will be done before it?
Pro stepping up here. Has to be careful. Lumberman, good enough numbers to start doing heavy damage to javelin throwers. Able to take him down in 1 or 2 shots. And now with the attack speed bonus as well.
Yeah, huge win there, and Vortex has so many houses here. He's about to get housed with the next couple shots. First, though, Marine Lord focusing in on the pit mine, still taking the trades. Donzo number, it's down to 5. Marine Lord, he's done such a good job at focusing in on the Donzo. Every time they step up, the longbows utilize their range so well, and right when that Donzo number gets cleaned, the horsemen have free reins to do whatever they want.
So many houses have been taken down. Vortex, it feels like he's just infinitely housed right now. He needs to invest so much wood into just getting those houses back up. Javelin throwers haven't been able to thin out the javelins.
This isn't good, though. He has to step up with the jabs. The few Donzo, though, able to get a brace in. A few more come out. Production starting to be hammered down, and there's still so many more houses. Vortex has to spend so many resources for production and to just stabilize this. Villagers get pulled to burn down the rams. Longbow spotted out.
Javelins. Every now and then, the kiting, it's still going on very, very well here. And slowly but surely, the front line of Marine Lord's army gets thinned out. But it's taking a while, and behind that, the Rams, they did a lot of damage here. And there's a ton of outposts now up for Marine Lord. Look at that, though. Vortex in the middle of the map.
Oh, Vortex is snuck out to the middle somehow, some way. He's building houses around it. He knows he's about to get housed yet again. And why not go ahead and prep that next pit mine? The problem becomes if Marine Lord gets vision of this. He just noticed. It's over. The horsemen, they're there. Oh no. This was Vortex's lifeline. This was the only reason Vortex was able to stabilize this from the push. He has no other gold. Triple outpost has already been dropped and upgraded with arrow slits.
And the outpost fortification also coming in here soon. Vortex is gonna need siege if he wants to take these outposts down. It's gonna be tough for a Marine Lord also.
Castle.
Yeah, the resource in the bank, absolutely massive. And he actually has more food income right now than Vortex does, even though Vortex is in the castle age with a fully fledged cow boom.
Yeah, I mean, triple English farm clusters with not being touched whatsoever throughout this whole game, and Vortex getting housed yet again. Those houses next to that other pit mine that he was planning did not get built, did not get finished, and the pit mine will be going down in just a second as well. Vortex, he's pushing up. He's trying to reclaim this before it burns down, but he's too late. Villagers arrive again, though, to gather some gold. He has bigger things to worry about, though, at home.
There's a crazy amount of horsemen still out on the field behind that Vortex. He's still been permanently housed here behind all of this. Just not able to push out with his own army or get any damage of his own out right now. Looks like he definitely needs a Sova switch here. Sofa, first one is going to be in queue, but the upgrades for those are going to be very, very expensive. It's going to be 350 gold alone for the imported armor that he's just now clicked.
Marine Lord has 1,300 wood in the bank. He can transition to whatever military he wants. He can drop more rams. He can drop more outposts. He can drop a ton of farm clusters. He has so many options here being the English, and he is in total control.
Total control indeed. Also now going for the relics. Still messing up more and more horsemen. Also getting the veterancy on those. And the single ram still in the base here from Vortex. Taking down production buildings.
This one ram has got so much value. Look at the path of devastation behind this. More importantly, imagine if he was Mongols right now. He would have been able to pay for Imperial Age with the destruction he's had.
Yeah, indeed. Lots of villagers have been pulled also to take that ram down.
Ram's just trying to get back to the outpost. Isn't able to get back to the outpost into range of that, but I think the ram has done more than enough of its job. The horsemen now have upgrades. The longbows now have upgrades. He's building an outpost there to try to get the network bonus as well before the main fight happens. Isn't able to do so, but longbows still kiting so well. Horsemen stepping on up. The Donzo haven't been in great position there. The Stone Node again doing some great blocking though for Vortex this time. Donzo getting sniped out by Marine Lord, though. 4 Donzo left during this fight. Horseman able to step up. Horseman able to get a surround and continue to step around these javelin throwers.
Javelin throwers trying to kite back here. Sofas now also coming in, but the mass difference. It's just too little right now. Too few Sofas. Vortex trying to get out more Sofas right now. Only 2 though. It's not going to be enough. Marine Lord, he's got so much production behind all of this. So many additional units. And look at how much wood Vortex invested into the middle here. And he's not going to be able to defend it right now.
And yet behind that Marine Lord, gold denied.
And behind that Marine Lord, look at the stone. He's prepping for a keep. Keep in the middle to deny all the gold here from Vortex.
A keep in the middle to win the game and get yourself on to the potential series lock.
Awesome, and now clean it up, and with that, game gets called. It's going to be a 3-1 so far now from Marine Lord. Marine Lord, he's going to be on match point in this next game. He's about to potentially close out the set quickly here.
This is so crazy looking back at this game. Marine Lord, his tower rush failed. Vortex had gold, his pit mines online, but the problem I felt like is he never really transitioned to the cow boom early enough and never had that eco pay off, whereas Marine Lord continued to invest in the military, continued to put the pressure on, and just never let off the gas.
Also, it was a lot of like these kind of blind reactions, right? Like Vortex, he went for the Musafadi warriors at a point in time where Marine Lord still had so many longbows out and where he never really invested too much into those men-at-arms. And then the horsemen, they went unanswered for quite a long time there. Sure, the Donzos in theory counter them, But there are so many longbows out there that Dunzos they never really got to a point where they were able to like take effective trades against the horsemen. We really need to see Sophos there from Vortex. And I feel like Marine Lord, he just played it absolutely perfectly with that transition into horseman. As I said earlier, that's really what I want to see from Vortex there in that last one, where we last saw that matchup happen. It just feels like the right kind of play there to make into this kind of situation. And yeah, just Marine Lord played it absolutely beautifully there. Able to go to a 3-1, and now we're going to be seeing a Ruse Mirror coming in here. It's going to be on Tempe.
Yeah, that was one of those that I felt like the micro last match from Marine Lord. Every single time, if we rewatched each and every one of the fights, longbows always were just hitting the Donzo, hitting the Musafatis when they were there, and it just definitely created an opening for the horsemen to actually be effective. But great game number 4 by him. Vortex still has a shot in this. He wants to go ahead, win the Ruse Mirror on Tempe. And Tempe is a map that I always love. It has a spot in my heart. It's a very interesting, I like to call it the upgraded Altai.
Yeah, so imagine Altai, but you take like half of the cliffs out, you add another sacred site, and you add 2 more boars. That's what Tempe is. And it's a very, very aggressive map. And yeah, lots of potential to like scale your economy without farms, meaning that players tend to like stick around longer in like these early ages, try to take map control, try to make use of these resources that are out on the map instead of like turtling up in their base or like trying to go for an age up. It's a very, very open map. Also a lot of stealth forest in the middle of it, so there's always the potential to like find your army a little bit out of position. So you gotta make sure that you always know what your opponent's up to.
Yeah, I feel like I think I saw B play Ruse on Tempe before, and he had like a set of like, 2 scouts and 2 knights literally just go kill all 4 boar. And we looked at, I think it actually might have been a Ruse Mirror last week or the week prior. And we looked and he was at like 500 bounty. His opponent was at like 150. And we were like, oh, well, he's got a good leg up on this game. So that's always one of the things that we're going to kind of focus in on this game is the boar control, not necessarily who's gathering from them, but who secures them all. Because great way to get your difference on the mirror.
We also saw Mr. play the Ruse here. I think it was in a set against Recon, if I recall correctly, where he made like 70 knights at one point in the game, and just even though Recon had like all the counter units like Mass Spear and Mass Streltsy, it just wasn't enough. Like the Night Flood just into the base of Recon there. Ruse definitely a very good civilization here on Tempe.
Yeah, very interesting. We still got a little bit of time until this next game starts. So in this meantime, I see some people complaining about some ads or whatever. Great way to not see those. Throw your sub on in, and we'll see that community support goal on that bottom right corner just kind of continue to tick up. You can already see how close we are to 1,000. We're not quite all the way of what we want to be at, but a great way to kind of get there is just one at a time, sub in, prime sub, or we just still appreciate the viewership if that's all you want to end up doing as well.
Yeah, there's also been a lot of support over on Patreon, so that really doesn't get shown there in that community support goal. Patreon is the best way to support EGCTV. You can see it there in the chat, !Patreon. It's just the best way to support EGC, support them to be able to like bring you all of these amazing tournaments. Every little bit helps there. You can choose how much you want to support EGCTV there on a monthly basis. And every little bit there just goes into the production of these tournaments, helps us raise the prize pool on them. And yeah, just helps elevate Age of Empires 4 esports to a new level.
Exactly. But now this timer's starting to tick down a little bit. We're getting this game number 5 of our final semifinal series today started. And here we go. Vortex in the color blue on Tempe, playing against Marine Lord in the color red in the Ruse Mirror matchup.
Look at that. Here in Empire Wars, the Ruse already start with 3 scouts. Marine Lord says that's not enough. He's going to go for a 4th scout. He does not want to get stuck on 80 Bunty here. And immediately sees that 4th scout now moving out on the map. We can see the deer spot here. 2 deer spots from Marine Lord close to each other. Vortex already has a scout there. Tries to nice some of the income here.
Yeah, this is a great job by Vortex. Able to scout these out early, able to pick up one of the deer, actually picking up 2 now, and forcing Marine Lord to use some extra APM to secure up these deer packs for himself.
And now 2nd scout is there. Means that Marine Lord is going to be able to secure up the rest of these deer spots.
Oh.
Oh, Vortex has an interesting deer spawn there. It's a little bit hidden in between that little cliffside there. He hasn't scouted yet, and looks like he also hasn't scouted the back of space at all. Yeah,
Vortex might be the 80 bounty one in this game. This is actually looking very scary as Marine Lord securing up wolves for himself, secures up both his deer packs, and he's about to have Vortex's first one fully secured.
Look at that. Vortex going up with the Kremlin here. We don't see the Kremlin too often here in Empire Wars, because in Empire Wars, the Rus Civilization actually starts with a free wooden fortress. So they immediately get that 20% additional wood income here. And man, the 4 scout play from Marine Lord definitely paying off here. Just Vortex also just not really scouting the back of his base, not really scouting his deer here. Could be attributed to just a little bit of an unlucky spawn. The scout from Marine Lord is going to be there in time. It's going to be another scout war here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge win for Marine Lord. The 4 scout play is 100% paying off, and it's not like he had to idle his town center for that extra scout. He just built it out of the hunting cabin that spawns from the start, forcing that other scout that is lower health away potentially, but Vortex brings up some reinforcements, so should be able to secure the... Oh, no. Oh, don't do it, Vortex.
Okay, able to get back.
Marine Lord's able to secure this now because Vortex, he can't bring that scout back.
Marine Lord also brings additional scouts now that you're dead. So that's done and dusted, but I think it's probably that time in the game, right, Dabson? I think it's time to bet the bounty and see how our players are doing here. What do you think? What's Vortex and Marine Lord sitting at?
I think Marine Lord's sitting at 325 and Vortex is at like 115.
Do you mind? There hasn't been a boar kill yet, so I'm gonna guess that Marine Lord is sitting at like 275 and Vortex at 150.
Oh,
240 for Marine Lord, then it's and 140 for Vortex. So Vortex 100 bounty behind right now. So get some wolves though.
There's a second wolf in screen that we see, not necessarily he can see yet, but an extra 50 bounty can go a long way. It would mean the next boar or one boar would bring him above that 250 mark.
Yeah, both players got excellent ball positions there in the back of their base. And that's going to be a position for Vortex 3rd TC. Both players going for a 3 TC build here. Vortex's TCs are nice and back in the base. One of Marine Lord's TCs, though, very far in the front. Could be a point for Vortex to aggress on.
But look at the timings for Marine Lord. And this is due to that Golden Gate. He was able to have both TCs finished before Vortex was like starting his 3rd one. So really, that's where you can kind of see a little bit of the eco lead already in Marine Lord's favor just a bit. And from here, I wouldn't be too surprised to see both of them just rush up towards Castle Age.
Could be a way to play this. Marine Lord behind this, getting all the eco upgrades. Vortex on the opposite side. Already got the double broad axe. Wheelbarrow as well for him. I mean, horticulture doesn't really give you a lot right now. Mainly because both players right now, they're mostly gathering from the hunter builds.
Yeah, you're 100% correct there. Kind of, okay, we do see double broad axe for who. So Marine Lord just kind of focusing on all the eco upgrades to start off here in Feudal Age. And we've seen a lot of that in Empire Wars in general, just because of with how many villagers it's paying off with and how quick you actually get eco in general.
Look at that. As you said, it seems to be a fast Castle Age play coming out of both players. We're seeing straight macro to Castle Age. Also stables coming out of both players, so very likely going to be a Castle Age play. And yeah, the woodline here, as Vodka is pointing out, looking very, very nice here for Vortex. Has some options on where he wants to place that high trade house. Marine Lord's going to be first one to click that high trade house. He doesn't get quite as nice of a position here, but the high trade house has been adjusted previously, so it doesn't really spike too much in the directions when it comes to the gold income, depending on like where you place it.
Yeah, and looking at the relics, Marine Lord obviously has some easily secured relics on his side. And okay, not quite the spot we were expecting. Still going to be some great gold income there, I believe. Getting a good amount of multiple of those for us. But from here, this is where we'll usually see, right when the high trade house finishes, we'll see a monastery get dropped as well. Night production already should be online as the high trade house is building, because you want to go ahead, start taking this map control, secure the relics for yourself, secure some of these next resources as well.
Marino's going to stable 1 archer range. Vortex is heavily committing to the stable play here. 3rd stable now going up. As you said, monastery immediately being dropped here by Marine Lord. And it's going to be crossbowman immediately with it. I love that play. Immediate crossbow production helps you so much in these engagements. When you have like the knight front line.
Yeah, you still are able to send knights to your opponent's side, still able to raid your opponent, and then the head-on in engagements, you're going to win so heavily because your opponent has to either take them or not. If he doesn't take the fight, you're going to end up slowly getting damage in with your crossbows because you have range.
Both players now also walling up their side of the mountain here. Knight clash on clash. Now falling back though. Crossbow still being masked. I really like this play. Just seeing the crossbowman immediately, like not that really heavy knight play. Only issue is gonna be that Marine Lord is gonna have to like really scout where Vortex's army is gonna be, because his army is gonna be way less mobile.
Yeah, the crazy thing here is like Vortex has 4 knights, 2 more in queue. Marine Lord has 2 knights, 4 more in queue, but also has the crossbow production. So it feels like he's just almost like a step ahead already.
Let's take a look quickly and see that high trade house income right now. And we can compare the different spots here. Marine Lord, he's getting 134 gold out. Vortex, he's getting 184. So it's a good bit difference, like half a relic there difference. Meanwhile, Marine Lord, the first one to collect one of the relics here. It's already on its way back to its base.
Marine Lord does have that Vil lead already. It's a 5 Vil lead. Sometimes it's 8, depending on the timing that you look up at the chart, though. But it is at minimum a 5 here, which is really starting to probably give him that leg up I was talking about. He's walling off his side. Vortex is walled off his side as well on the side of the cliff we were talking about. So kind of giving yourself a good bit of control, some gold mines behind it as well.
Oh, also getting killed. Gets that extra bounty here. Immediate wooden fortress there, so food income is going to be secured there. Vortex running around with the knights. Finds a couple of villagers there. Has too many villagers to all jump into the TC. And with that, a couple of villagers will go down here.
Yeah, and these are castle age knights. No ranged armor in yet. We see it in queue currently, but able to equalize that Vil count just a little bit. And some engagements happening on the other side. Heard a relic get picked up. Sounded like Marine Lord winning those engagements, pushing some of Vortex's military back because he's having the other military in the base.
Big problem here, though, for Vortex is behind all of this Marine Lord. He's already got 11, 12 crossbowmen out on the field. He's getting to the point where he's going to be able to one-shot these knights, and he's also got the relic advantage here so far. There's still a relic way back in the base for Marine Lord to get. Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a 4-1 relic game here. Fight happening in the middle. At the knight count, they're trying to get the crossbowman here.
They're doing a good job getting the crossbowman, but the crossbows did such an unbelievable job. Every time there was a low health knight leaving, it was able to focus in on the low health knight, finish it up. Knight's going in for another raid on that secondary TC, because if it works once, why not go for it again?
Yeah, but now Marine Lord has the troops there. Vortex not immediately reacting here. Loses 1, losing 2 knights.
3 knights? Oh, actually 4.
4.
Crossbows on the other side. Look at the side as well.
So many knights went down there. And Vortex is now also going into his own crossbowman. But it's on a delay. He only has 14 military units out on the field. Marine Lord has 30.
Yeah, it never feels good when you're going with the same military composition, but you're reacting to it late. You're a step behind. Marine Lord, 16 crossbows, Vortex 6. Marine Lord, 11 knights, Vortex 9.
Oh, they're going to get trapped as well.
1 less as Marine Lord going to wall in this last night, take 1 more beneficial trade, and this is where he can kind of just group up. He's got 4 relics to 0, and has just been kind of taking this game a step at a time, just slowly and methodically.
This is looking really, really solid right now for Marine Lord here. Also securing that boar here. Or it's going to go the long route. Or it's going to return. Villagers, are they going to... It's already generated as HP. Okay.
All right. You know, it is what it is. Another attempted dive by Vortex, but immediately caught out. And Marine Lord, he's got 2 sets of crossbows there to catch out this Night Raid. And those Knights are such an inexpensive unit.
The Kremlin Militia has been called, but where are they? Where are they going right now? They're going for the boar. That is not Marine Lord's main economy. Marine Lord's economy, it's just all over the place. It's not in one spot. This harass does not really work, but it looks like Vortex is going for it. Yeah, how much is left in that boar even? Is it worth it? There's only 1,000 left.
I mean,
it's all the militia for 1,000 food, which he's not even guaranteed to be getting here.
And this is crazy. The militia are out, and you're like, oh, the military counts are even. This is a dead even matchup. It's like, wait, the militia have been out. Like, this isn't looking good at all. Marine Lord, again, taking a beneficial trade. Knights diving onto the crossbows. The crossbow numbers just heavily in his favor. The Knight numbers in his favor as well. And this is looking like he is about to get the leg up on game number 5, the deciding game. And that is the case. Vortex realizes not going to be able to come back.
And that is it. It's going to be a 4-1 for Marine Lord. Match point has been secured, and with that, we already know who our finalists are gonna be. And man, that is gonna be an exciting matchup. It is gonna be Marine Lord versus 3DB here in the Empires at War finals.
Yeah, very, very just, I mean, 4-1 series, some quick, decisive games, but some exciting games at that. And I am 100% excited to see the 3DB versus Marine Lord matchup. Always some exciting games between those two. And you never know what B has in store with some of his builds and some of his plans.
Exactly. Now, both of these players have been able to each take down one of the Spanish brothers 4-1 here today. That is quite an achievement. I mean, these Spanish brothers, we've seen them being really, really strong right now in Empires at War. They've been absolutely giving us a top performance here. Marine Lord and B, though, they've been playing like absolutely out of their mind. Like B especially, I was very surprised by his performance here overall. I gotta say, like, I did not expect him to do so well as he did there in his set against Lucifron. I actually favored Lucifron in that one, not gonna lie. But the way that B played and the way B was able to take those sets, it just looked very, very promising. And here we go. Now we got the stats for you. It is going to be that Marine Lord versus B grand final. And we got a third place match for you guys as well. That is all going to be happening tomorrow. Third place match is going to be between the Spanish brothers, Lucifron and Vortex. So obviously also very exciting to see. And all of that is going to be happening tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You can see some of the players that got their way into the quarterfinals: Recon, Mista, Anatan, and Louis. But I believe everyone but Anatan was able to qualify for the EGC finals with that quarterfinal spot. I think Anatan just barely missed on out. Will be playing in that qualifier match here in the near future, like we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah, the EGC finals, that's going to be the next big tournament. But we still have our finals here in Empires at War. So guys, these are going to be very exciting matches to look forward to. Once again, happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. GMT here on EGCTV. And yeah, Dapson, it's been an absolute joy again to play to cast with you here. Very, very enjoyable. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yeah, always happy to be here. Always enjoying casting with you, watching the good games. This one a little bit quicker day than we're usually used to, so we actually get a little bit of a break over here. Get some extra free time ourselves.
Exactly. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to be looking at who we will be sending you over to. Don't forget, EGCTV Patreon. That is the best way to support EGCTV. Looks like we're going to be sending you guys over to Rob the Viking. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in again tomorrow. Lots of stuff going on as well. EGC Finals, all of that is happening next. Don't forget, also, expansion coming out 14th of November. Lots of stuff to look forward to. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll send you off to Rob the Viking. Don't forget to tune in again tomorrow.